excuses. No more bullshit.
No more excuses. Excuse cast.
Excuse cast 101. How to make excuses.
No, it's not excuse cast anymore. It's end of time cats.
End of time cats.
That's what you put on the Facebook page. I just wanted to make sure I called you out right now.
Oh, right. Is that really?
I wasn't gonna point it out to you on the slide and be like, hey man, you need to go back and edit that.
I can check right now.
You could go. You were like, next episode of End of Time Cats.
On the fly editing right there. It totally was End of Time Cast. I didn't just change it either.
You changed it to End of Time Cats.
Don't lie to these people.
Go look at that. Go look at the last thing you posted on the page. Look at it.
Really?
Pull it up right now.
Dude, I can pull. There's the page right there.
Okay, pull it up. Let's see it.
So the name's gonna be different when I pull it up.
No, that's not the name. It's the last thing.
Oh, it's what I posted.
Next episode of End of Time Cats.
I did. Oh no!
6 people saw End of Time Cats.
Nobody said a thing. Thanks for telling me about the pimple I had on my face. That's fucking awesome. Y'all been letting me walk around for 24 something hours.
The End of Time Cats.
End of Time Cats. I mean, I really do like SWAT cats, so that's not a big. That's not a big deal. There's Thunder Cats.
Thunder Cats. The End of Time Cats.
There's
probably Time Cats.
Nintendo Cats, maybe.
There's Revolver Ocelot.
No.
And a bunch of ninjas jump out just randomly.
See, you didn't really say anything negative about that.
He was like, we've had this discussion before. It's like, he's like prepping before he goes out to talk, and he's like, all right, guys, when I'm gonna go fuck with Snake, and whenever the moment comes, I'm gonna give you the signal. He's like, what's the signal? You'll know when you hear it.
Yeah, they're thinking, oh man, Ocelot's trained. It's gotta be something hardcore. There might be clicks or whistles. He might do like a suppressor shot in the air. It might be something cool, like Bravo Echo, North Niner. And he's like, no, that's not it. They're like, well, come on, man, we need to know before we go out in the field. He's like, you'll know it when you hear it.
You'll know it when you hear it.
So all these fucking all these soldiers are up in the trees, hanging out, ready. And here comes Ocelot talking his shit, and he's like, and
they wait. Yeah. They don't jump out on the first one. They're like, was that the signal? No, man. I mean, that was just so out of place. It had to be the fucking signal. Yep, that's the fucking signal. Come on, guys, let's go. And I'll jump out.
This is the canon reason why he goes, because the first time they're like looking at each other like,
it's just like, no, I ain't doing it. Shut up, man. Come on, we gotta go.
They can kind of see each other in the trees, but they're not making a word. They're not making a sound. So one looks at the other, and the one just shrugs like, He's like, okay.
I guess that means we gotta go.
I guess that's what we're doing. The fucking Ocelot Brigade signaled by a row.
They're just like, no, man.
There's so many things in that game and other subsequent Kojima games just defy us expecting us to buy into it and be like, yeah, this was cool.
It's like, yeah, this is cool. It's like a fucking military immersion and blah, 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 and everything's trying to be like super realistic. Mm-hmm. This was developed by blah, 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 blah back in the 60s when they did the Start 3, blah, 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 blah. Yep. It's like, where the shit did they come from?
Do you remember the time that Snake got involved in that sniper fight in the snow? Yeah, that was cool. Do you remember the time when the Metal Gear Ray, the first time he like jumped out of the water and landed and it was all cool? Yeah. Do you remember the round? Wait, what?
No.
You forgot about the round, didn't you?
You just blanked that out of your fucking mind, didn't you? But no, it happened. Just like when that one dude summoned all the birds to come eat him. Fucking.
And the guy summoned all the bees to be bee shields.
The goddamn bees.
Bee shields and bullets and.
Oh man, no. No, we don't talk about that.
No,
we don't talk about that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the End of Time. I'm Michael.
And I'm Adam.
We're here to talk some game shit for y'all today. Man, what a week. Really? I don't know which one of us I'm going to start with first. Because we can either give them the good points of my week or the shitty points of your shitty week.
fuck you. I want to hear your bullshit first so I can blow it out the water.
No, I'm just talking about Andromeda, man.
Yeah, you know, I got the Master Sword in Andromeda. I noticed
You need
didn't
to
get
cut
the Master Sword
that
yet.
shit out.
I pulled it up.
Cut it out.
Got all my heart containers. I was
Cut
like,
it out.
bleep, bleep,
You
bleep,
don't know,
bleep.
the only reason why you know that is because you watched me.
That's because I am the man.
There is no, if you were making what Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda references, it would make sense. You can't tie Andromeda
Oh, you
and Breath of the
can.
Wild. No,
They're the
you
exact
cannot.
same game. Nintendo
They are
copy-pasted
nowhere near.
it.
I will fucking punch you in your nose.
They took Andromeda's fucking
This will be
engine
the violence cast.
and they just pasted Zelda on top of it. Like, oh yeah, there's some same thing.
I feel like you're like at home at night playing this game. You're supposed to be asleep, but you're like keeping yourself up, and the lights are all turned off in the room you play it in, and all you got is the light of the TV, and you're like, it's gonna get better.
No.
I'm just gonna tell people I really like
You
this
want to know
game.
my honest opinion on this game? After having played it for a little bit longer,
I'll tell you what.
right now, my official stance on it right now.
Yes,
Okay.
the world needs to know.
Right now, I will say that I will give this game a 7.5 out of 10.
You are being way more generous of anybody I've heard.
Man, I will tell you this. Other than the moments where it just decides to jar you loose of the fucking immersion with the bad fucking stilted looking, and it's, I watched a YouTuber, I can't remember the guy's name, but he did mention exactly what it was that throws you the fuck off.
Yeah.
And it's not, for one, it's whatever, like, some of them don't move when they talk, so they kind of stand there like a goddamn robot.
Yeah.
And it's also the eyes. You can fuck up a lot of things with facial animations, but if you fuck the eyes up, it's over with.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm looking at you, you can look at my eyes and say, okay, well, I've kind of got a little bit of you can see the roundness of my pupils, you know, but you can't see the top of my pupils.
No.
You can't see the top half of the circles.
Because you're not like sitting there with your eyelids rolled back in your head.
Now, if I open my eyes like this, you know, and I just
Thank God this is not
completely,
video.
I completely just open my eyes as much as possible, it starts to make me look kind of like a psychopath.
Especially if all you were doing was talking.
Now, it doesn't matter what the lower half of my face does.
No.
You can make a good facial animation with just good eye work.
Mm-hmm.
But they also, between that and the fact that the pupils, you know, you have the iris and then you have the pupils.
Mm-hmm.
The pupils are colored in such a way that the iris stands out immensely.
Wow.
Okay, so you have a very, it's very pinpoint.
Yeah.
The irises are very pinpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And, it makes them look like like axe murderers.
All of them.
Some of them.
Most
The aliens, you get away with it. Some of the humans are decently done.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a good a good amount of people that, you know, don't. You can completely bypass anything outside the realm of like, the Citadel kind of area, you know, and on your ship, where you're just walking around in like standard civilian clothes, chilling out.
Mm-hmm.
You can bypass all of that by wearing a goddamn helmet.
Yeah.
So if you're outside, you know, going around in Andromeda, just chilling out, and you just put your helmet on, put your squad mate's helmet on, they talk back and forth just like Shepard always did, and the game is fucking immaculate. The game is fucking immaculate in those moments. The game is every bit Mass Effect when you are doing your thing, when you're doing your shit, and it is surprisingly deep and really fucking cool. I'm not spoiling anything.
That's fine.
But there are mechanics overlaying mechanics. Yeah, you know it has a crafting system, for instance.
I didn't, but now I do.
Okay, well,
Thanks
it's
for
not
spoiling it.
It's not a huge
spoilers for Mass Effect Andromeda.
There's
Adam can't follow the fucking rules.
Damn. If you don't know this thing they were talking about the crafting system before the damn game even released.
Yeah,
It's not a spoiler that it's going to have a
spoiler
system.
when nobody knows about the stuff before the game's released because nobody cares about the game being released.
What a dick. Shepard hurt you, didn't he?
No, Shepard didn't. Mass Effect 2 hurt me.
He hurt you deeply. Well, this game is like the apology. Or it would have been if they hadn't.
If Mass Effect 3 wasn't better.
If they hadn't fucked up the animations, this game would be 10 out of 10 territory. This game would be groundbreaking. Like I told you how fucking super cool the galaxy map was now. Mm-hmm. Okay. They have a, you know that they went to Andromeda in a completely different galaxy. Mm-hmm. So they left the Milky Way and went to Andromeda through dark space. Uh-huh. Well, they all went into cryostasis. Well, as you go around and fix colonies and, you know, do stuff to help people on these planets, the initiative gets more and more resources. And as the initiative gets more resources, you have the ability to wake up more of the sleeping colonists. Mm-hmm. Okay, so as you're waking them up, you get to choose which colonists you want to wake up. So, and based on which ones you do, like if you want to wake up like the ones that were slated for science, then they'll give you more research every like 30, 40 minutes in game that you can just go pick up. Okay. Or they could you can wake up the merchants and they'll give you a stipend of money. And this is like the level 1 perks. Mm-hmm. So this shit gets deeper every time I look at it. You can choose whether or not you want a science colony and then wake up the merchants. So you've got scientific tech getting researched and extra money coming in, and you get to choose the order you want to do all this stuff in. Not to mention the fact that they have consumable items now in the game. Mm-hmm. Okay. And these consumable items are things that Shepard would have fucking killed for.
Yep.
Because they're like emergency shield battery, where you're like, oh shit, I done fucked up. And you're like, let me just pop this, and then your shields go back up, you know. And you're like, oh, thank Jesus.
I would have killed for that.
Yeah, that would be, you get in like shit's position, and you're like, yeah, I kind of need this right fucking now. Mm-hmm. So you kind of wonder how this guy's got this shit and Shepard didn't. But anyway.
I've heard that, yeah, I think it was you that said that Shepard would absolutely shit stomp this
yes,
guy.
he would in that stands. That stands absolutely positively. If they got in a melee fight, Shepard would still shit stomp him, because I don't know if you remember this, spoilers for Mass Effect 2. And Mass Effect 2, Shepard went hand to hand with that giant monster that was the Shadow Broker. Mm-hmm. He was like, Liara, stun him so I can whoop his ass with my fists.
Yep.
And, yeah, this dude ain't nothing like that.
Let me ask on topic. Let me ask this so the audience and myself have another judge, you know, because we're doing our weeks. Mm-hmm. If you had to guesstimate, how many hours are you into the game now?
Over 20.
Okay.
Over 20, possibly over 30.
It's good so I and they and everybody has a good frame of reference for, okay, well, there's some shit coming you're not going to like, or there's shit coming, it's going to get better.
Let me tell you, the game starts slow. Mm-hmm. The game starts very slow. Mm-hmm. And it's not to its help. I mean, the fact that they released it and said, oh, here's your first 10 hours, and it takes about between 6 and 10 to get going.
Right.
And the animations, I can see why it got shit on when it first came out. It gets better, but you got to get there. And,
I hope so.
And the whatever the fuck it's called, the Faco from last. From last podcast.
The Placo is what we titled it, and it was gonna be the Faco, but it was the Placo first. That's what I went with.
So it doesn't ever get better than the Mako.
See,
it does get faster. It does get more shields and better jump jets, but it never reaches Mako levels.
I want you to go back to gushing about what you like, even if it's spoiler, as long as you tell them it's spoiler.
Okay.
But I want to give you a stance where you can be defensive, because this is what I've heard from all reputable sources that love Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. God help those that love 2 and 3.
Okay. Well, can you cite any of them, or?
I mean, I'm not going to directly quote them. I can paraphrase, but I'm giving a summation of this is what I've gathered.
Okay.
In total from 20, 30 different sources, is that, pardon me, number one, and let me get through all of them so you can shoot them down later.
Okay.
Is that this game is very mediocre. Is that people have put this game slightly above Mass Effect 2, but way below Mass Effect 3. The Mass Effect 3 apparently is way better. 2, people, half of these, that I've gotten a good gauge that half of the people that have played this game and have went balls out to be ready for it and happy to play for it have made it X amount of hours in the game and have stopped playing and have no desire to go back. I've also heard that a lot of the characters in the game, it gets to the point where some people don't even care about what's going on. Like back in the day, Mass Effect would give you a decision and you have to sit there and fucking sweat it out. You're like, no, you know what? I don't care. Fucking keep doing the research, kill the people. I really don't care. Like apparently this game just has, I mean, from the story to the combat to all around the horn, this game has an average to like a 5 out of 10 for appeal. That's what I've gathered.
Damn.
That's not that it's horrible. It's not that it's utter garbage. It's people have got into it and have slowly kind of went, I'll get to it, and then I don't feel like going back.
I don't think half of these people actually played Mass Effect 1 when it came out.
I don't know.
I mean, if you played Mass Effect 1, you would... Shepard really didn't have all that fucking big of a mission when he first started. Okay? I haven't, and this is not a spoiler, this is a not having beaten the game yet thing. Okay? So this is a guess, and a guess on where they could be taking this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Who said the Reapers were confined to the Milky Way?
Yeah, true.
They're a fucking machine race.
Yeah, from what I gathered, those
They're a
fuckers can
godlike machine race that did this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
Yep.
Who says they lived in dark space?
They
stayed in dark space until it was time to purge.
Yeah, and they have machines that can take them all over the place.
So who says they couldn't just say, okay, fuck it, we'll just travel here for 600 years, which is like the blink of an eye for them.
Right.
To wait to actually physically say, fuck it, we're going somewhere, it's going to take 600 years. Oh yeah, really? I don't care.
Yeah.
So it took this ship going, with this one cycle's technology, 600 years to make it to Andromeda. Who the fuck says the Reapers can't be in Andromeda?
I like that idea, but here's something else. Of the handful of people that I've heard that have actually beat the game, not one of them have been like, dude, but the ending was worth it. But dude, the end story and the end sequence, it was all worth. Nobody. They've all been like, yeah, I beat the game. I'm done with it. This is Mass Effect. This should be a game, and I'm literally taking all the hype and bullshit that's around every new game, just like this game, and pushing it to the side and talking about the holy wow fuck factor that Mass Effect is supposed to have, and I've heard that from nobody regarding this game.
One thing from multiple different angles. For one, if you're, I kind of put this in the same area I put like people that decide that they just can't stand the prequels to Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Heard, quoted right here on the podcast.
I mean, good fucking God. Shepard and his crew were legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're not gonna get that twice.
True.
You can only get something else.
Yeah.
And this isn't Mass Effect 2 where you're angry because they took them from you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These guys had nothing to do with Shepard.
Right.
Or very loose connections to Shepard.
Yeah, but my point is, if you're gonna, this is the argument I made before you even got this game. You got to step up to that plate. You have to bring something that at least matches that level of holy.
Well, what they've decided to do so far is they decided it wasn't such a big opposition, but they expanded the scope of the game so much. You're making a lot of like small decisions. Instead, and a lot of people, I've heard this criticism that your choices don't feel like they have the same impact that they did back in Mass Effect, before the original trilogy. And that's true because when Shepard made a decision, it went polar one way or polar the other.
Yeah.
And so he either, fucking saved the orphanage full of kids or burned it down himself while cackling.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that from the Pathfinder because the Pathfinder is going to be like,
because the microchip in his head is going to...
Yeah, he's going to make him fucking kill people.
You didn't think I knew about that bullshit microchip in his head, did you?
No?
Yeah.
How'd you find that out?
because you can't, unless you go internet black, you're going to find something out about this game.
Yeah, well, he's got...
That's literally all I know. Somebody said, yeah, he's got Pathfinders have a microchip in their head. I was like, cool.
Okay, well, they have spoilers for fucking
spoilers for Mass Effect Andromeda.
Just like a biotic, a human biotic. Humans can't naturally be biotic unless they're exposed to EZO in the womb, and they don't have very good control of it unless they have an implant.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember Kaiden in Mass Effect 1, he had an L2 implant, and apparently there was something fucking wrong with those L2 implants, and it caused him to have massive headaches, and he got off lucky.
Yeah.
There was an implant that they gave to the Pathfinder teams. Okay, and it does a completely different thing.
It gives them 2 penises.
It gives them 2 penises, even the girls.
Well,
all of them have 2 penises.
You thought the Peenophage was something.
This is the Peenophage. It gives you more, then, God damn it, that's gonna fucking shit. So
could they impregnate themselves? That's all I need to know.
If they wanted to.
So would they be inbred babies, or would they just be so basically women in Mass Effect Andromeda don't need men anymore. That's what we're getting at.
That's what I'm getting. It's at Mass Effect androgynous.
Wow.
Anyway, so we've got implants in the fucking Pathfinder that are similar. But that's just them.
Okay.
The cool things I thought that they expanded on the story a bit with was like, the Krogans were alive for 600 years.
Okay.
Okay, they were in cryostasis the Krogans they brought.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the entire time, their bodies were adapting to the genophage. Remember, they kept having to modify the genophage to keep it fucking effective.
Right.
Well, it's been 600 years.
So they got that shit's over.
Well, it's not over with, but now instead of having like a 1% fertility rate, they've got like a 6 or 7% fertility.
Still better. Mm-hmm.
So they're like, we're adapting. You know what I mean?
And nobody's there nobody's there to remake the strain or make it different. So they're just
correct.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
They're slow. The Krogans are slowly overcoming the genophage in Andromeda. And right now they're up to a 6% viability rate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's much, much better than it was. Little touches, man. Little touches every fucking where. Like, the fact that they had references to Liara. They had references to fucking, Miranda. References to the Elusive Man.
Mm-hmm.
I got some huge spoilers from Andromeda if you want to hear that.
I mean, that's your call. As long as you spoil them, I don't care. Because I'm not going to waste my money on this garbage game.
Damn. One of your teammates is actually
the Elusive Man's son.
Daughter.
Wow. Did I really call that?
Yeah, you did.
Damn. Nice.
Daughter.
Okay. Does she have
the same last name?
Well, those eyes were implants.
Yeah, those eyes were implants, but she smokes now. But she smokes. Yeah, it's a family thing.
I guess.
No, she doesn't.
Nicotine addiction is hereditary. Got it.
It is. Got it. Confirmed. So, and she's like, blah 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 blah. All this shit happened to me, and you find out that that was her dad. Wow.
Man, to find that that's your dad if you didn't know.
Suddenly other things start to make sense, like where the strings being behind all these things that happened to her were getting pulled.
Mm.
And you're like, oh
shit.
Oh, okay. And you're like, okay, well, and there's just so many little things like that all sprinkled throughout the game. The game is good. Anybody that says the action wasn't fucking above par, fuck you. You don't know what the fuck fun is. Okay, I like that because you didn't, we mentioned this when we did the Mass Effect cast. You didn't like the way that they changed from Mass Effect 1 where you had open world and you just stumble upon some enemies and you're free to engage them how you want. Well, that's back. Hardcore.
Well, good.
Okay? You can just be like, fuck it, and go 90 miles an hour straight fucking through them and just if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can get out 20 miles away and snipe them. Or you can drive up in the thick of them and fucking hop out and fucking
shoot
get
the
to
cannon
hacking.
that doesn't exist.
Well,
on the
it has a shield discharge.
See what I mean?
Yep.
This is the fucking bullshit. What are they, Nintendo?
It's like, boom, and then you
It's a little problem when it shouldn't be a problem at all. You've given the fucking Mako thing a cannon.
You just give them a Mako, but they didn't. The Mako, you just give them a Mako.
Yes.
That would have been much better, but
Yes.
apparently they didn't. The Mako is something you either love or you hate.
I guess.
And, it goes back to that thing. Like, I loved it, you liked it, and we're a dying breed.
I guess so.
But, the cool thing is the freeform combat. You have options on how you want to attack an objective and how you want to go. I mean, sometimes you're kind of pipelined in like, okay, we're in a cave. We can only come from this direction. Mm-hmm. So you have your little set piece moments where, okay, this stuff is happening in this way. Mm-hmm. But you also have the freeform combat. So it kind of goes back and forth between a Mass Effect 2 style fucking, the enemies are going to breach out of this door and come at you and you're going to be like, oh shit. And then, the whole Mass Effect 1, I'm slowly approaching this objective and I'm noticing there's enemies here, so I'm going to take them down and etc. And you're prepping all your stuff. The way biotics and stuff, because I'm playing a biotic. Mm-hmm. The way biotics and stuff works is fucking immaculate. The vintage heatsink is fucking awesome. The way your weapons upgrade and you can mod them out and augment them and, you get to do all this research and look at all this cool shit. That's fucking fun as fuck to manage it. You have strike teams, that you can send out on little timed missions, which work, kind of like the way that, I guess WoW would be the best way to describe this. You have garrison missions in WoW and you send some people out and these people have attributes like this guy's brave, mm-hmm. which means that he's good at taking out he's good at going into fucking, he's not scared when he goes on fucking missions that meet these parameters.
Final Fantasy does this too. You can have little squad members that you basically raise like a little mini squad or platoon of people and you send them out to do shit.
Yeah, that's basically what you have in Mass Effect as well. But here's the thing is it also ties into the co-op or to the multiplayer because the multiplayer that's just like Mass Effect 3,
which sucked.
Fuck you. So the multiplayer that's just like Mass Effect 3, you can choose to send the strike team out after it, or you can choose to go do it your goddamn self.
Yeah.
And you get to play that on multiplayer with a friend if you want to. Mm-hmm. And those they give you both in-game and multiplayer rewards when you do that.
Yep.
So you can get stuff for your single player campaign while you're playing the multiplayer.
I like that.
It's really fucking, it's all tied together and there's so many different layers. If you want to have the N7 armor and make your dude look like Shepard, then you can. You just go around, I'm Commander Shepard and this is I'm in Andromeda somehow.
What would you say, and again, I know you haven't beaten it and you're only 20 something hours into the game, I know that, but this is actually a fun thing to do is over time, keep giving people an impressive score of it. What do you give it out of 10 right now?
7.5.
7.5. Okay.
That's where I'm at. And it would be 10 out of 10 if it didn't have errors and it didn't have, some of the,
apparently the errors that it has is jarring. It's not just
when they are not constant, but when they are they are jarring.
Yeah.
Because it is a trifecta of three things. You have bad facial animations. Mm-hmm. Okay. You have some bad, I would say maybe 30% of facial animations are so bad that you go, ugh.
Jesus.
And maybe 30% of the voice acting is so bad you go, ugh.
Yeah. And that's not good.
And maybe 30% of the writing is so bad you go, ugh.
Yeah.
But it's only when all three of them come together that it just goes, man, I can't fucking handle this.
Do you think this is a victim of them being rushed? Do you think it's just a rushed job that maybe over time this shit could have been ironed out?
I am not a game designer.
Yes, you are.
But from what I heard of a professional, I followed this professional guy on fucking Twitter.
Adam was a co-creator of Flappy Birds.
I was the sole creator.
You were the soul still
No,
bird.
the soul still flaps. So, anyway, from what I saw, from what he said, or from what this guy said on his Twitter account, is that the way they don't have the animators literally vet every single thing that happens.
Right.
There is the animators build the toolkit and they hand it off to the guys who are doing the coding, and they say, okay, well, you use these building blocks we built for you, and do it the way it needs to do.
And you could see that in Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Like when you watch Shepard, he's got about 50 different animations that he does for talk. You know, he switches to a hand on the hip. He does the look off to the side, scratch his head. He goes back to, you know, standing where he folds his arms and looks off at you. If you play the Mass Effect trilogy long enough, you'll be like, that's a Shepardism.
Yeah.
I see that, but yeah, I get what you're saying. They form what it is to what they need it for.
Correct. Now, the thing about it is that something went fucking sideways somewhere, and they needed to have the animators go back and look and see where these inconsistencies were happening, and they just didn't catch it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they didn't catch it, but they didn't. And he said, this is a good thing and a bad thing. It means, one, that the bar has risen to a point where these little tricks they used to get by are no longer flying.
Yep.
The audience has grown more discerning.
Mm-hmm.
They won't put up with this bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
But it also means that it wasn't a single person that fucked this up. It was a team effort.
Oh yeah, no doubt,
up.
man. No doubt.
It was a big team effort to fuck up, and I don't know how it got past QA. Without some sycophants just being like, man, this is awesome. You know, I'm so glad I'm getting to play Mass Effect. I don't want to say anything bad about it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But somebody didn't do their job, and somebody should have caught this. They should have kicked this game back 6 months. They should have, honestly, when they heard the feedback from the first trailers.
Yes.
And they said, the animations kind of look weird.
Yeah, because that shit was a big hot to do for a long time.
Something's going.
Popped out of it, and videos were everywhere, WebMs and GIFs, and they all pointed to those same 15 or 20 scenes where you were like, that's gotta be like
Something's
alpha.
wrong.
That has to be way alpha. And they're like, no, man, the game's coming out in like 4 or 6 months. What?
You need to fucking fix that.
That looks bad. Nah, once you play the game, you'll be having so much fun with the game. No, man, that shit is
there.
That takes me out.
Like I said, do you have the things that are wrong? And it isn't until when one of them's there, it's like, okay, I can deal with this, whatever. Mm-hmm. When 2 of them are there, it's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
When 3 of them are there, it's like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
You know.
But you're having fun with the game.
I'm having fun overall with the game.
That's all that matters.
It's not what it is. Like, I had one of the opening quests, okay? You're running into, you're walking around and this guy's like, dude, man, this fucking panels are just getting fucked up for whatever reason all over the damn place. Can you figure out what the hell's going on? Mm-hmm. And you walk around, you're scanning panels, and you say, oh, this one's fucked up. I was like, okay, well, we have some kind of residue on this thing. The scanner is the coolest part of this fucking game. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're walking around, you're using your Omni tool to fucking scan shit, and you find that little things are popped up, and you find out that it's an animal that got loose. And it's just fucking up shit randomly. Cool. At first they thought it was like a saboteur. Cute. You know? Mm-hmm. They thought it was like a saboteur fucking, and they were like, why would you do this? No.
It's a feral rabbit.
Fucking monkey or something that's fucking doing this shit.
Monkey rabbit.
And you're like, yeah, we're gonna have to call animal control.
Yeah.
So then you use like the residue and stuff like that, and you start like scanning, and you're able to follow where the fucking animal went, and you find it, and you're like, yep, get animal control over here to pick this thing up. You know? But I mean, when you're doing that, you're not thinking about all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine when you're doing the negative things, when you're dick deep in the combat, you're not
thinking about it at all. In fact, all you're thinking about is like, man, I really had fun with that.
But see, therein lies my predicament. It's the same issue I've had with Mass Effect 2, is that Mass Effect as a whole, really more predominantly from Mass Effect 2 and 3, there's two things you should be going into Mass Effect 4, period. You shouldn't be going into it because you want to have customized. I'm talking about Mass Effect, the original trilogy. If I want the best, weapons modification, that's not what it's there for. I want to have the best space simulator. No. There's two things, and only two things, that if you are highly interested or even remotely interested, you should be going into Mass Effect 4 is 1, the story, predominantly the story. And 2,
well, when you say
combat.
Mass Effect 4, the story, you don't know what Mass Effect 4's story is going to be.
No, I'm saying when you go toward the original trilogy.
Yes.
What you should when you hear Mass Effect, the two things that should immediately pop to your head: awesome story, and I mean all the way around from depth to birth.
Yeah.
All the way, story period. And 2 is the action, the combat. Everything else follows tertiary and below. So if Mass Effect Andromeda has a good, engaging, involving, thorough, impressive story, and the combat is fluid and fun and action-packed and gets you hyped, then it's doing its job. However, if either one of those two are lacking, and predominantly the story, if these people are speaking the truth and you start not giving a fuck about your people, you don't remember. There are people that said I beat the game and I don't even remember half of my party members' names. I'm like, you don't remember? They're like, no, I can tell you Garrus, I can tell you Rex and Zaid, and I can't tell you half the fucking people in my party, and I beat the game. That's a shocker.
Let me throw this out there, okay, for multiple reasons. I wasn't a big Garrus fan in Mass Effect 1 before Mass Effect 2 came out.
But you remember him?
No, I wouldn't have remembered his name.
You remember that he was a Turian?
I remembered I had a Turian.
Okay.
I didn't like the Turians because the way they portrayed them in the first Mass Effect. And if you go back and play the first Mass Effect over again, you remember that the Turians and the humans were kind of on edge.
Yeah, because they had just got out of that fucking...
I mean, they were not too far removed from a war, and they were talking shit. And the first fucking Turian you meet, everybody's like, man, we got fucking aliens on the goddamn ship, and blah, 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 all this shit's going down. You go out there with one Turian, and another fucking Turian kills him and fucking just completely fucks your shit up. And you're like, wow, what a dickbag race, And then you finally, over time in Mass Effect, you begin to realize that, they're just like people.
Yeah.
They're not, you have good Turians and bad Turians. You have good Quarians and bad Quarians. You have good fucking, Asari and bad Asari.
You have mostly hot-tempered Krogans.
Well, I mean, but you have good ones and bad ones.
Yeah, yeah.
But as they, and you start to form relationships with your squad and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't until Mass Effect 2 that I started to feel that nostalgia come in. Now, this is a horrible thing, okay? This is a horrible thing, and Mass Effect 4 Andromeda had its work cut out for it. Because it has to say, this is no longer Shepard's story. Shepard existed, but this is not him. And you have to go and say, okay, well, there's still nostalgia there.
Yeah.
For this universe.
But you can't go all the way in.
You can't go all in and show, it's Liara. Nah.
Yeah.
You could have if you stayed in the Milky Way, but then you'd have other problems.
Yeah.
So they had to leave that away. They can go full circle with this. And they could. They could very well go full circle and show Ryder end up fighting the fucking Reapers just the same in Andromeda. And him having to go, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, they end up going back to the Milky Way for some reason. Who knows? But, and like I said, I haven't beat the game, so I'm not, well versed on what's actually going to happen. But, there's a lot of ways they could go with this story. There's a lot of things that you meet all kinds of interesting people with interesting situations. You go around and you feel like an explorer. You don't feel like, you're not playing Commander Shepard, guy who's out to save the galaxy this time. You're not out to save the galaxy. You're out to save this group of people that you came here with and to find them homes and to set things right and to make these planets worth living on and to figure out what the fuck's going on with this ancient alien race that fucking has shit set up on every one of these planets for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And to figure out what the fuck these other guys are here trying to fucking find their technology for.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that's one of the first things you do is you run across this ancient alien technology and you're like, okay, computer, scan this because I have no idea what this is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, okay, well, based on, you know, what we know about language, here's what my best guess is.
Yeah.
You know, based on every language ever in the fucking Milky Way, this could be what it says.
This is what I want to do.
You know,
I want
so
go ahead.
Well, I mean, the thing is you have to let Shepard go. And if you can let Shepard go, you'll enjoy this game a lot better.
I'm not wrangled up in the Shepard ordeal. I've made that.
Well, I mean, the thing is that he's fucking badass.
He's sucking dick.
He's sucking big dick.
What the shit?
I mean, he's Commander Shepard.
I mean, when you're Shepard, why choose?
You don't want to get any Turian tissue in your mouth.
You're like that prince from Game of Thrones who's like, men, women, I'm a prince. Why
you
should I
big
choose?
stupid jellyfish.
Why should I choose? I'll take what or whoever I want. This is what I'm going to do. I hate to put you on the spot right now, Adam, but since you just got fucking 14 inches of Mass Effect dick down your throat right now, I think putting you on the test is not that big of a deal.
Okay.
Mass Effect 1, and only Mass Effect 1, can you name the people in your party? Can you name your party members? You got Shepard and Go.
Yeah, I
Just
can
do
name them all.
Then do it for me. Trust me, this is good.
Okay.
Do it for me.
You've got Garrus, you've got Rex, you got Tally, you've got Ashley, you've got Kaiden, Linko, and Liara.
Okay. What I'm going to do is about 2 or 3 months after you've beaten Andromeda, I'm going to spring this shit on you again.
That's what I'm saying is that
I want you to be able to remind me about
what I'm saying is that the first Mass Effect, 6 months after I beat the first Mass Effect the first time and enjoyed the fuck out of it, I probably couldn't have named them.
Yeah, I think you're full of shit.
And the reason I couldn't have named them is because I didn't have 2 more games under my belt to build up that fucking mythology of that crew. Because the moment I went to Mass Effect 2, I instantly regretted not having them, just like you did.
Yeah.
And I instantly I was like, where the fuck is Liara? Cause she's sure as fuck gonna wanna be with me. Where's Ashley? Cause she's sure as fuck not gonna leave my side. Same with Tally and Rex. You know, where the fuck are these people? And immediately, I immediately went back and, you know, because I played the first Mass Effect again right before I played Mass Effect 2, because that's how I do shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled straight into Mass Effect 2, and I was like, and I was just like you. I was like, these replacement motherfuckers, I don't want replacements. I want my whole party back.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you get to know and like the people from Mass Effect 2.
You drink the EA Kool-Aid, yeah, I know.
Whatever. But so you get to know and like these new people, and you get to see what's going on, and they kind of tease you with, like, one of the first missions you go out on for Cerberus. You meet Tally.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, holy shit. And you're like, holy shit. And you're like, why don't you come with me? And she's like, I totally fucking would, but I can't.
But, yeah.
And then you're like, well, maybe next time. And she's like, fuck yeah, next time. And then you find her again, and you get her in your party, and you're like, woo.
I get your point. I get it. And I'm willing to meet you in the middle that maybe after playing Mass Effect 1, you couldn't name everybody. I'll give you that. I bet
Can you
money.
name the guy who dies at the very beginning of Mass Effect 2? But he was like a main
Shepard.
No. The other guy. The other guy who died in that, there were other people that died in that crash. I know you don't remember all those little tidbit fucking.
Those little people don't matter. I'm talking
there was
about the people.
you had a
in your
navigator.
party.
You
Yes,
had a
I remember
navigator.
Navigator Presley. Yes,
Yeah.
I know. You dick. Don't fucking challenge me,
He died.
son. I will
He
shitstorm
died.
you in knowledge.
He died and you don't care.
What? No, my point is that what I was trying to say was I will meet you in the middle that while you might not have been able to name all the characters from Mass Effect 1, you had probably at a minimum could have named Shepard and the 2 people that you predominantly kept in your party.
Maybe.
The point being is that if you did go back and play it again, or if you knew those people, you cared about them in the game to some degree. And apparently a lot of people are saying, I don't give 2 shits about these people in my party. If I lost them all, I wouldn't care.
Right now I'm looking at it and I see a couple of people that I think are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they have interesting backstories. You have loyalty missions are back, like Mass Effect 2 style loyalty missions where, you know,
Okay.
You have a very interesting crew, you know, down to, you know, like you have like this little Scottish chick that runs your fucking science scanners and shit like that, and you have fucking this weird Solarian pilot.
You had a Scottish girl that ran your scanners in Mass Effect.
No, you didn't.
Yes, you did. Okay, no, she wasn't. There was 2 scientists in Mass Effect 2. I think it was on the 2nd floor. I think the guy was Scottish, and the girl, they both went to an academy together.
Those were the engineers.
The engineers.
And that was Donnelly and, what the fuck is her name? Donnelly and what's
Helga,
her name?
Sure.
But they were in 2 and 3. They were Cerberus.
Yeah.
They were in the new SR2.
Mm-hmm.
And they came with it, and he's like,
yeah,
oh.
he was Scottish. I can't remember if she was or not.
No, she wasn't.
Well, that would have been a cool little, like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but no, but you had you have a new Solarian pilot, and he's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they have different little fucking, you know, they have different little quirks about them, you know, and you're like, wow, you know, when the chick gushes about fucking dirt. Mm-hmm. You're like, you wrote a 60-page fucking, you wrote a 60-page thesis on dirt? And she goes, well, I mean, it's just the Cliff Notes. I'm sorry. You know, I know it's not nearly deep enough. And you're like, whoa, whoa.
She needs a podcast.
Whoa. You know, but then, you know, the pilot was actually part of the team that built your ship back in the Milky Way. And,
that's the way to do it, man.
You know, they were, he was talking about, well, you know, we figured one of us needed to go. It wouldn't be right for all of us just to be like, well, goodbye, ship. We did all this stuff and we built through all these systems. And he's like, I can still remember all these little problems we were having. You know, back when we were building.
And we know that's a plus.
You know, we were having all these little problems trying to get these certain systems to work, and now we fucking can't. You know, and these are things you learn about them in the first couple minutes, but they start to lay a groundwork of who these people are, and they're not the same.
Yeah.
They're not, and they haven't gone through nearly as much shit. You know, you saw 3 games worth of character development for Tally, for Garrus.
You know what? How about that then? That brings up.
You can't compare it.
How about this then? Instead of laying out the entirety of the Mass Effect,
it's not fair to them, really.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. Instead of laying out the entirety of Mass Effect as the trilogy and all the things involved with it, take Mass Effect 1.
Okay.
And compare it to Andromeda.
Okay.
And that initialism.
All right. Let me. Do you remember what Garrus was like in Mass Effect 1?
Kind of.
Do you remember the conversation Shepard had with him in Mass Effect 1?
I had more conversations.
I challenge you to go back and listen to the way they talk. The way they weren't fucking buddies.
No,
in Mass
they
Effect
weren't.
1.
Yeah.
They were not.
Mm-hmm.
They were not old buddies. They were not new buddies. They didn't instantly click off. They butted heads.
They had like a hard respect for each other.
It wasn't even a hard respect. Garrus was a hothead.
Really?
Yeah. Garrus was like, nah, we could, one of the things was in Mass Effect 1, cause I just went back through the whole series again, I told you.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and I was noticing it and I was like, I can't remember. This is the way I felt when I first played it. This is why I felt this way about Garrus. Because in Mass Effect 1, he's got that little part where you go into the doctor's office to save, like the doctor on the Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And like somebody is like threatening the doctor. And this is before you get Garrus in your party. So you roll up in there and you're like, okay, freeze, motherfucker. And Garrus is in there with the guy at gunpoint. And he's like got the doctor at gunpoint. The bad guy.
Any of this.
The doctor the doctor is at gunpoint from this bad dude, nameless fuckwad.
Mm-hmm.
And he just instantly plugs him.
Wow.
And you're like, what if something bad had happened?
Garrus
he's like,
plugs the bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so you're like, dude, you could have fucked up and something bad would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's constantly chastising Garrus through the entire first game. Like, you need to slow your fucking roll.
See, you and I are going to have different reactions to this because even to the first gameplay, I'm going to tell you exactly how my first gameplay went. I had Ashley And I don't remember. When I got Rex, I had Rex and Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
When Ashley started being a slut, I kicked her ass out. And
Damn. When was she being a slut? She like banging Linko while you
Ladies
weren't
and
there?
gentlemen of this podcast, I fucking killed Ashley. When it came to that decision, y'all know what I'm talking about. I didn't give two fucking thoughts. I left her stranded and I wanted her to die. Fuck Ashley.
That's ruthless.
Anyway, when I got Tally, my party for the duration of the game was Rex and Tally. So I don't remember anything about Garrus story-wise from the first one. So this whole thing you're telling me now is brand new to me.
Well, you need to go back and play Mass Effect 1 again.
Fucking tell me how to live my life.
I'm telling you how to live your life. All right, but you go back and you listen to the tone of the conversations, and it's mostly, "Hey Shepard, blah 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 blah," and you're like, and Shepard's like, "No, you need to slow your fucking roll, and you're gonna get somebody killed.
Yeah,
this shit's here for a reason."
Man, that's crazy. I never would have got that from him. He seemed very calculated, very some kind of.
Well, what you did is you mellowed him out. And he's still kind of a hothead when you meet him in Mass Effect 2. He's out there being a vigilante and pissing people off and getting his squad killed. Yeah. But that's when they really became buddies.
Yeah.
When, you had his back again, you bailed him out of the fucking fire and you helped him do his shit. But that's why you have to do a loyalty mission for Garrus.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing, is that you look back at these things with kind of rose-colored glasses, and we're not quite there yet in Andromeda.
Yeah. Well, again, plus
you might look back at it, you might see Andromeda 2, Electric Boogaloo might come out, and you might say, well, damn, I don't remember, Liam being such a giant fucking tool.
Mm-hmm.
But he was. I didn't, a lot of people like, some of these characters, and I'm like, you have a really old crotchety fucking Krogan, who's like, humans are kind of shitty, and, I really don't fucking like humans.
And I would be like, well, at least I'm not a Solarian.
Damn. And I remember, meeting him, and he was like, "You did good, kid. Now I'm gonna go kill some more of these things." And you're like, "Well, you want to work with me?" And he's like, "No. You'd slow me down, and I don't fucking trust you."
Now that's the Krogans I remember.
You're just like, well, I get, and like the Pathfinder himself, Ryder is like, can't get control of his fucking ship at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like,
because he's a wee little baby.
Because he's a wee little baby, and he's not an established fucking N7 Marine like goddamn Shepard was.
Mm-hmm.
N7 is not like a bitch.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay, just being an N7, you're not Commander Shepard.
Yeah, people forget that.
You could become Commander Shepard.
Well, people forget that because their big tout to fame in Mass Effect 1 is when Shepard becomes a Spectre. They're like, oh shit, Shepard's a Spectre. Now he's badass. No. The whole N7 program, period. Those are the
He was
elite
a fucking
of the
Navy
elite.
SEAL.
Yes, those are the badasses. He just went one step
He was
further.
already a Navy SEAL when he started his ascent.
Yes.
In the first Mass Effect game, which is why that he would just bend Ryder over and take fucking whatever he wanted.
You're making fan fiction right now.
I am.
Because you're not talking...
There's multiple Ryders.
You're talking male Shepard and male Ryder, aren't you?
Oh, he could take both of them at the same time.
And Rex?
And Rex.
No! Stop!
One of my favorite lines from all the entire Mass Effect series was one of the renegade things that he'd say. You remember that line where he told that guy, he's like, you better fucking talk or I'll cut your balls off and sell them to a Krogan.
Oh God, yeah. That was, whoa, what?
I'll sell them to a Krogan. And you're like, oh man, that's racist and mean and scary.
Yep.
And it's like, whoa.
My favorite line from the entire Mass Effect series, Andromeda excluded, was really what got me hooked. What made me go from just eyes glazed playing a new game to this shit's probably going to be good was the first time when you find Rex And he's having that fucking argument with that dude because he's trying to get through, and he's like, you can't get through here. Something about he needed a pass, and he's like, I don't fucking need a pass. I'm just getting through. And he's like, you want me to arrest you? I want you to try. I was like, I fucking like this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 7.5 out of 10 for Andromeda.
That's where we're at right now.
20 hours in.
Unfinished
Next
review.
episode, we'll be talking about weeks. He'll have played more. We'll have more.
May have gone down, may have gone
down,
up.
may have gone up. I asked that because rolling into my week now, I guess I'm finally going to break a little bit, and I'm going to talk about Breath of the Wild. Of course I'm going to talk about it, but so here we go. So I've been thinking about really hard about how bottom line, I want to talk about this game on this podcast so bad. And, of course, my main reasoning for not wanting to talk about it is because you haven't played it yet, but also because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody.
Well, I don't really, here's the thing. I'm not like you. I don't care about the gameplay discoveries so much.
But it's so good.
It's the location discoveries that I'm more about.
Yeah.
So like if there's like a cliff that's like got a dog's head, you know, it's been carved into a dog's head and you go in the dog's mouth and find fucking a treasure chest or something. I don't want to know about that.
Yeah.
But I don't give a fuck if you figured out some cool little things or neat little fucking, you know.
Well,
Link pees himself if he gets too hot or something. Okay, that's not a big deal.
What I'm still going to do, though, I am going to break my thing, and I'm going to talk about Mass Effect today. So right off the bat, I'm just going to say spoiler warning.
You're going to talk about Mass Effect?
Oh, Lord, I said that, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
God dang it. Yeah, well, this is your fault.
Well, I mean, this is
in my
the end
head.
of Tomcats.
It is. It is. No, I'm going to talk about Breath of the Wild today, so I'm going to throw this out right now.
Ooh.
Spoiler warning for Breath of the Wild. However, I will not, from now until the time that you can finally talk about it, I will not be talking about major plot elements, and even despite what you said, I'm not going to talk about the cool things, because, again, it's as it's been said, this is a discovery game. This is an explorer's game. So the shit that you...
made by the Discovery Channel.
Sure. The shit that you're going to find, the stuff you can find, the stuff you're going to figure out on your own without being told that you're able to do, the errors that you're just going to stumble upon, you're going to be like, wow. Because every hour I play this game so far, for time wise, I could pull this up right now while I'm talking and get an exact hour. I think I told you 60 something hours the last time I checked.
Mm-hmm. But it's
I'm that far into the game, and I'll also preface this as well. It is still worth the purchase of both the console and the game. I'm fucking glad I bought it.
I'll go buy me another Wii U.
Another one,
that.
Sure.
Just for that.
That's just saying for people that don't have it at all. You know, there's got to be people out there like, man, I don't own either one. I'll take either one. You need to get either one. You need to fucking get on this game. So nothing about this game has had me go, oh man, now I'm starting to regret my purchase. I don't know. There's so much discovery in this game. And even now with if I had to guess, 75, 80 something hours I'm into this game, I am still stumbling upon little things here and there where it's like, I just turn a corner and go, oh, that's cool. Or I see a fucking sunset that just blows my mind. Or I see these animals or these beasts or whatever interacting in a cool way, and I'm like, oh man, that's a cool thing to see. Mm-hmm. I see new monsters or monsters interacting in a different way, or I see... You're just going to explore and you're going to discover things. So that I'm not going to spoil. What I do want to say is that if I, as a fucking 35-year-old guy that knows what spoilers are, if I can't tell you about this game without spoiling it, I don't need to be on the fucking podcast. So I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best, just like you did with Andromeda, to talk about this game for a wee bit, and hopefully maybe some more people will get more interested, or at least express more of my opinions on this game. The same shit I said before still applies to this day. I had to fight between Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time for which one was better. Yeah. And I still right now put this game up in that, I'll make it a trilogy with those three, including this game. However, and also the game is still right now, if doing like you did with a 7.5 for Andromeda, I'm giving a 9.5 out of Breath of the Wild. Now, I know there are rabid fanboys of Nintendo and Zelda, and I know most of them that, you know, I'm thinking somebody down the road listening to this podcast 2 years down the road hears this and goes, 9.5? What the fuck? You didn't say 11. You're shit up.
Fuck you.
This is why. While I do love Nintendo and while I do love Zelda, I can still find flaws in the game.
Yeah.
And I've heard critiques about this game. I've seen 3 or 4 different reviews, so to speak, spoiler free, mind you, where people have laid out their, kind of like I did with Mass Effect 2. They've laid out these points of where they said, this is not, I didn't like this. I didn't like this. I gave this game a 6 out of 10, and here's the 11 reasons why.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with any of them. I've had fun with everything I've seen so far. There is one glaring criticism that I have that still keeps the game at a 9.5, and I'm talking about that meter's pushing, though. That meter's still going, man,
because you haven't unlocked a maker.
You could breathe, and I could go over to a 10. It's that fucking good. And again, spoilers, so if you don't want to have this shit spoiled, you don't need to listen. So there's I don't know, about 120. I haven't looked up the actual facts. I'm trying my best to stay away from looking at shit, but I think there's like 100, 120, 130 something little dungeons. That's what all the little shrines are for.
Yeah.
There's some throwaways, but there's never been one. It hasn't been one shrine yet where I did it and I was like, that was fucking stupid. All of them I've been like,
you just walk out of shrine like, fuck that shrine.
there are varying degrees of these
the
shrines,
water shrine.
Okay. So there's the shrine where there's a shrine wide out in the open. You go up to the damn thing and you go into the shrine and you do a puzzle and you win.
Okay.
It may have 1 or 2 little things you do, but that's it. You have another one where you go into the shrine and you basically have a battle. You know you're gonna step through this door and some degree, either easy, medium, hard, or ultra fucking hard, there's gonna be an enemy there.
Yeah.
And you're gonna kill him and you're gonna get his weapons maybe, or his items maybe, and then you're gonna get what you're there for. You also have some where you have to do something in the world to even open the shrine. And sometimes it's a little or a lot of work to just open the shrine. Well, they say in most of those that, well, if you've already did the work just to open it, once you get in there, we'll give you the treasure and what you're there for, period. So again, that's not bad. I've already did the work. If I had to go do all that work and then go into the shrine, I'd feel like I was doing double. They said, no, the shrines are very even is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
There are a couple gimmicky ones with your, I imagine it's the same with your Switch. You got to you have to balance your Wii U pad, or you got to balance the Switch. Those are very few and far between, and none of them have I been like, man, I'll throw this shit.
I actually had a gameplay question.
3 out of 10. Fuck this. What?
Okay, gameplay question.
Mm-hmm.
You can make like ice blocks and shit, right?
Yes.
You make big ass blocks eyes. Okay. You can make those ice blocks float in midair?
No.
No?
No.
You have to stack them on something?
No. The ice that you can make, if you want me to spoil it for you, it's an item you get very, very, very early in the game.
Uh-huh.
You find any body of water and you can make a rectangular pillar of ice form up. You can climb on that pillar. You can use it in different ways.
Now,
but
could you make a giant tower and like jump off the top of it?
No, they don't stack. You only get to make one at a time. Now, I haven't had it upgraded. Maybe I'm fucking lying. Maybe you can upgrade it and you can make 4 or 5 in a row. But as far as I've got so far, you can make one little rectangular pillar appear, and you can use that to manipulate the environment. You can use it to your advantage in some way, puzzle form.
Okay.
But no, you can't make like a cube of ice that just sits on the floor. You pick the cube up, you throw it around. No. There are things like that in the game, but that's not what that ability's for.
Damn. I was hoping you could like get like really high the fuck up and jump off of it, because I like.
Man, you're gonna be up in high places all over in this game.
I like jumping off of things.
High. This is another reason why the stamina thing is a good thing, because when you see a mountain way off in the distance and you say, you know what, I'm supposed to go do this mini quest in this town, but you just wake up and turn the game on. You're like, I'm not supposed to go do this quest, and you pan the map around. And you go, I'm just gonna go climb that.
What you should be able to do is use the hook shot. You get the hook shot, and then you like whip yourself forward and you pull out your glider. and you like float up in the air, and then you keep using your hook shot to propel yourself even faster forward.
Yes,
that would be a really awesome game.
2 is a great game.
That would be a really awesome idea for a game.
So if you look around the map and you say, I'm just going to climb that fucking mountain. Number one, getting to that mountain is going to take a while. If you don't have any quick teleports or whatever, you got to get there. It's going to take a while. And then climbing the mountain is actually, it's rewarding because it's not all sheer cliffs. They give you just enough footholds that if you maneuver yourself right, you can climb that mountain. And you'll have obstacles in your way. You'll have enemies in your way. You'll collect items on the way. It's not just see mountain, climb, climb, climb. I'm at the top. It's not boring at all.
That's great.
So of all the criticisms I'm trying to throw out, number one is the shrines. I'm like 40 something, 50 something.
It's just like an overwhelming amount of shrines.
That's what people are saying. But here's the thing. This is the criticism of the shrines, is that when you find a shrine, you open the shrine, you go inside, you do the puzzle, you find an NPC that gives you the item you're there for, and you leave. You find another shrine, you go in the shrine, you do the puzzle, you get the thing, you leave. The repetition is what people's problem with. Yeah. I have zero fucking truck with it because I have fun. Yeah. I don't sit there and calculate the time of how long it takes me to actually get into the shrine and how long it takes and, oh, that NPC looks a little different than the last one. I don't care about none of that shit. Yeah. I'm having fun doing the shrines. So, boom. Are they the greatest game thing in the world? No. Do they equate to Zelda dungeons? No. And that's where I'm going to get to my next big criticism in a minute. Weapon durability. This is what we were going to talk about earlier. I initially could give or take the durability thing. I didn't see or hear that on the onset, and that became an issue for me because I didn't know how the game implemented it. I know what durability is in other games, but I don't know how Nintendo was doing it. I like the way these weapons have durability because when I'm out in the world, if I had a weapon that didn't break, I would powerhouse one fucking weapon and I would never default from that weapon. Unless the gameplay strictly made it where you need to have a spear to kill this enemy or you need to have a bow. No, all these enemies can damn near be killed with any weapon you get as long as you use it right, as long as you tactfully think about what you're doing. So the fact that I have durability means that when I'm out in the world and I got 5, 6 enemies around me, I got one weapon, I bang, 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 kill one guy, bang, bang, kill another one, hey, your weapon's getting bad, bang, bang, I kill him, bang, bang, boom, weapon's broke. Look around, find another weapon. I don't look at the strength, I don't look at what it is, I've got 4 more people after me. Pick up another weapon or look in my weapon inventory and pick another one. Hey, this is a boomerang. Well, it's fucking all I got right now. Bring it on, bitch. And I'll hit it with the boomerang or I'll back off and use it like I'm supposed to. Boom, the boomerang breaks. What do I got left? You got a spear. Well, I'll fucking back up and use a spear. If it wasn't this, I would have a sword and I would kill every fucking enemy with a sword.
You need to go get the boomerang and drop it into the magical pool so the fairy will upgrade it to the magic boomerang.
We'll get to that. There's shit like that in the game that lets you upgrade your armor. I'm assuming there's ways to do it for weapons too, and I'm pretty sure I probably missed this in the first area, and some guy's like, dude, you could have upgraded your weapons hours ago. I haven't done it yet, so all my combat has strictly been finding weapons, and if I see a weapon that's more powerful than the other one, I may swap it out, but I just pick them up and run with them. You do have ways to upgrade how many weapons and armor you carry. I have not even found that guy yet, but I just know he's out there because, hey guys, I had that shit spoiled for me. But I know eventually I'll be able to carry more weapons, so I won't have to be so dire choosing on my weapons. I can just pick them up and keep them, and I'll still keep using them.
Yeah.
Kind of like you said with with hopefully the Reaper thing for Andromeda. This is what I'm hoping for Breath of the Wild. And you've seen it, so this ain't spoiling it for you. But I've found the Master Sword. I found that shit just out in the world. I knew it was in the game, but I had no idea where it was. I had a Zelda storyline candidate. It's in the fucking Lost Woods. It's got to be in some woods. So when I found the woods and found the sword, I was like, good, awesome. I can't get that sword yet because I'm not powerful enough yet. And I'm telling you right now, this is how it's showing Nintendo's masterpiece in my mind. If I pull that fucking Master Sword out, and it does not have durability, even if it's moderately powerful. Even if the most powerful weapon in my inventory right now is like a 45 and the Master Sword is like a 20. If that thing can never break, that is fucking masterpiece. Because Nintendo has made you go through this game and feeling that pain and that, oh shit, of my weapon's breaking, my weapon's breaking, my weapon's breaking. I've just got to do what the fuck I can with what I got. And then I work and work and work. And then I get the Master Sword. And it don't break. That's fucking genius. That's awesome. That is just another reason why I don't have a problem with durability. Now, if it does have durability, well,
you broke the fucking Master Sword. You're the worst Link ever.
What I'm hoping doesn't happen is that it has durability, but you can go to this NPC and he will always repair it. I don't even want that. But if that's what it is, I'll fucking deal with it. I'm saying, as a big statement, I have no problem with the shrines, and I have no problem with weapon durability.
I wonder if they're gonna do, like, I mean, do you remember, of course you remember, Link to the Past had multiple iterations of the Master Sword.
Yes, yes.
You had the original sword that you started with, then you got the Master Sword, and it was a big upgrade. It felt like, wow, I'm fucking shit up now. Mm-hmm. And then you went and got it tempered, and suddenly it was red. It went from being like awesome blue color to awesome red color. Mm-hmm. And you were fucking shit up with that. And then,
I hope it does that too.
Yeah, I hope it does that in this game. I hope you can, especially since they put so many weapons in the game, mm-hmm. I hope they have a way to get it tempered.
I love those power increases.
And then a way to get it like magically reforged.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That would be so fucking, it would be a great callback because they haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, yeah. So the shrines is a complaint. The durability is a complaint. I'm trying to think of other big glaring things that people are
shitting themselves over.
Yeah, and I haven't. My big one, and again, this complaint is not a deal breaker at all. It's just more of a, guys, I think you could have done better. I'm happy with what you gave me, but I know you could have done better. Do you remember the dungeons and the bosses of Link to the Past? I don't mean by name, but you just remember them.
Yeah.
You remember you had a dungeon where you had to find a glove. You had to use the glove to pick up shit.
Yeah.
You remember a dungeon where you had a hammer. You had to use the hammer to knock little pillars down.
To break shit.
To break the fucking boss's carapace, All the bosses felt unique. All the bosses felt different. You had to use not just your tactics, but specific items to manipulate them.
Yeah.
This game, I've been through 2 main dungeons. Number 1, there's only 4. Now, if there's more unlocked later, fuck yes, bring it on. If they're really pulling a Link to the Past, but they're just really expanding that shit to where, oh no, man, you did the 3.
What happens is you beat this first world, and then you get a dark world, mm-hmm. and you just like shit yourself because you have to start over.
There's
and
like 8 bigger dungeons.
Everywhere there was a river, now it's a fucking lava flow.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh.
I would love for that. But number 1, that has been since I've known about this game and since I've had it spoiled, was that there are 4 main dungeons. So in my mind, without getting there yet, I'm assuming that there's 120 something plus shrines. There's 4 big key storyline dungeons, and then there's wherever the fuck again is in Hyrule Castle. So there's the 5th one, and then that's it. If that's all there is, just speaking solely from a dungeon quantity, a dungeon content level, that's not enough for me. But I'm still having fun with everything else. Again,
are the dungeons all unique in the typical Zelda form? Do you need like special things and special tactics?
There are the dungeons themselves are physical things, and they all have different ways of being manipulated. Yes.
Okay.
But it's not a, hey, did you find the boomerang? Cool, you're going to use the boomerang to get through this dungeon. Hey, did you find the hook shot? Cool, well, you're going to use the hook shot. It's more like, they're more like extended, larger versions of the shrines. Like by like 10 times larger. There's like, a shrine will give you 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 small little puzzles. These dungeons give you like 5, 6, maybe 10 things. Okay? So the fact that the dungeons are not, maybe in scale, in scale, they feel smaller. They may not be smaller because they are fucking huge in your physical size comparison, but they just feel smaller. When other dungeons felt bigger and more expansive, there's more doors, there was more areas, there were more pits and more walls and more secret areas to bomb and all that shit. That's gripe 2. Again, not a deal breaker, and neither is deal part 3 that I'm fixing to say. None of this is a deal breaker. It's still a 9.5 out of me. It's just, this is where I see as I can be a fucking critic because I've played the Zelda games. I'm allowed to be a critic. The bosses in these dungeons, they're Again, going back to the bosses in Link to the Past as a prime example. You had the worm. I don't remember all their names. I know they all had names.
There were 2 sets of worms.
Well, there was one where you had 3 sets of worms. There was one that was one big worm and you swiped its tail.
It had crazy eyes.
Yeah. You had one that had a big rock or bone carapace. You had a shadow with a hammer.
Yeah.
You had a 2-headed dragon. You had a fucking butterfly looking thing. You had a blob full of eyeballs. These are basically, again, I've only beaten 2. They're bipedal. They walk on 2 legs. They got 2 arms. They have weapons. And you basically don't even have to find a weak spot. You have to do a little bit of puzzling to kind of get them down. But once you do that, it turns down to hack and slash. So yeah, I mean, again, the fact that old bosses too, you did have to do at least one thing to knock them down. It just doesn't feel the same is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm using shit that you don't have that magic of opening that big chest and going, oh shit, I got a hook shot. You know, you walk in all these dungeons with all the shit you already have. So you're kind of ahead of the game. You just get to go through the arsenal of shit you have and go, well, maybe I can use a bolt. I could use a lightning arrow. Maybe I can use a guardian sword. Maybe that'll do more damage. Maybe I can use a boomerang and hit him from a distance. I don't know. It's not okay, I need to get behind him and use the hook shot to pull this shit over here. Or I need to use magnesis and pull this fucking block on its head. The second boss that I fought does have a little bit of, they have 2 phases. The first phase for me has typically been get up in their shit and dodge shit like Dark Souls and fight them. So you see why that's not a big deal for me. That's not a deal. That's like, oh, cool, I will fight you. When the second part happens, you're kind of using what little tools you have and trying to make shit happen.
Yeah.
So my critique, why it goes from a 10 to a 9.5, still worth buying the fucking console for, still worth buying the game, and I'm still having a blast. I was playing it 8-9 hours before you got here straight. Is that the big dungeons, they could have been done better. There could have been more done to them. They could have been larger, and yes, I'm saying they could have been larger than they already are. The lack of, you know, the content inside could have been fleshed out more, and the end bosses, I feel like they're getting forgettable. Like, I don't want that. I want to be able to look back and think of like bosses from Ocarina of Time, like, hey, I remember the fucking weird dude from the Shadow Dungeon with the bongo, and you know, I remember the plant, the fucking bug one from the first one. You know, I want to be able to remember these, and these are like, yeah, you just fight a big fucking scary monster. That's about it. So that is
big fucking scary monster.
Yeah, with a sword and a shield, and he's rawr, and you know, hey, kill him, hack and slash his ass down until he's done.
Man,
I hope that makes sense. I hope people get.
It would be really cool if they had like Shadow of the Colossus type fucking bosses.
Well, that you'll find out. That's my only big critique. The world is large. The world is expansive, and I'm saying this only 70 hours in, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm sure that once I've played, 200 fucking hours of these games, I'll have seen most, if not every area. I've seen every area 2 or 3 times. I'm saying right now that I keep going around this world and teleporting from place to place, and I'll pick a spot on the map and I go, I don't think I've been through that area. And I'll walk through, and just getting to there, I'll find 4 or 5 little bitty things to do.
Yeah.
I'll find an encampment of enemies, or I'll find a little secret thing that I can tell is a secret thing and I gotta figure out what to do, or I'll find a way to a shrine, or I'll find a fuck ton of, these items only are in this area, so I need to, make note of where this area is, because if I ever need this shit, I gotta come back here. Again, it is an explorer's game. It is a discovery game. The graphics are great. The music is great. The way the subtle music is awesome. I have no problems with the voice acting. It's okay. It's give or take. But this ain't a fucking movie. I don't tout this as being the greatest. I don't expect, Schindler's List out of this. So, I don't have a problem with the voice.
Schindler's Zelda.
I don't have a problem with the voice acting. What I'm saying is, again, I've heard some of the gripes, some of the complaints, and I've agreed with none of them. I have not heard one person. I heard one person gloss over what I just said about the bosses.
Damn.
But nobody has been like, this is the thing. This is the thing for me. This is where I said, all right, guys, you maybe because the game was coming out so fast, you kind of curtailed this down a little bit, but they could have done better. Does not detract at all. I'm still fucking loving it, still having fun, having a great time.
Well, if you don't get like 20 heart containers, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you're speaking truth. We're still in spoiler territory, so Adam has seen this, so I guess I can talk about this. Spoilers again, hopefully you still have fast forwarded it because we already said spoilers, but again, just stumbling upon the Master Sword for me was awesome. No, when I went around the world, people told me about who I was. I have amnesia. I don't know who I am. So you'll run across people and they're like, hey, you're kind of missing your shield. And you're like, what? And you're like, yeah, you got a shield. There's a very iconic shield for you, man. And you go 4 or 5 quests down the road, another NPC in the other side of the world will be like, yeah, you're Link. Where's your sword? And he's like, what sword? I've got a fucking axe. I've got this bow and arrow. I got this boomerang. I got this big great sword. No. You have a sword. Like, I don't remember what it was called or what it was about, but you always had this sword. You need to find that sword. So I heard all this and I'm like, I know the fucking Master Sword's out there, but nobody was like, hey, I'm just telling you, if you go to the Lost Woods in this area, you'll find the sword. Nobody did that. So I was like, where the fuck is the sword? And then when I stumbled across where it was, I was like, that's fucking cool. That's +1. +2 is how you have to get this sword. That thing is sitting just like it was in the Lost Woods in a fucking pedestal. And when you walk up, the Deku tree's there. And he's like, hey man, glad to see you're here. That's your sword. You can't touch that yet. You can't pull that out yet. When you found it in Link to the Past, you just had to get in there. Once you got in there, you pulled the shit out.
No, you couldn't. That wasn't how you did it at all.
Well, you had to
just gotta go and gut check you real quick.
I'm saying once you had the pendants and once you got there.
Yeah, it was the pendants that did it, 'cause it totally fucking ran straight up in there at the fucking beginning of the game, and I would grab the fucking pedestal and slam my head back and forth on it.
or you grab the fake sword and it's like, nah. Come on, this ain't the sword at all. This is a bullshit sword. But, so I found it and I went to pick it and I was going to try it anyway. He's like, all right, go ahead. And it cuts to a cutscene of him with both hands, like pulling out Excalibur. He's pulling the sword up and it shows your hearts. It shows your health meter. And as you're pulling the sword up, it tells you to hold the button down to pull it up. And as you hold it down, the camera zooms in on you real slow. And he's trying to pull it up, but as he's trying to pull it up, his hearts start decreasing half by half by half. And depending on how many hearts you have, like when I went in there, I had like 6 hearts. So when it got down to when I had 1/2 a heart left, the Deku tree cut me off, said stop. If you had pulled that for another second, you would be dead. Like you are not physically strong enough to pull this Master Sword out. You need to go get stronger. When you come back, you try it again. So now, as I'm
Have
going
you ever
out.
killed yourself trying to pull the Master Sword out?
I did a few
What a
times.
horrible way for Link to die.
I even went, I figured I could game the system because I encourage you to do this when you play it. This game, a lot of times will put you at a puzzle and you have not only gameplay mechanics, but you have Zelda specific mechanics you're used to. You'll walk in an area and you'll see a puzzle and you will see all the things, the items, the set pieces, the lay of the land, and you'll go, okay, these are the abilities I have, these are the weapons I have, these are the items I have. Okay. So so there's my treasure chest. Okay. So I need to take this platform and push it down over here, grab this block, somehow get this block over here to hold that end up, and then go over here and push this thing here to do this. You will spend all this time doing what you always do as a Zelda person, as a Zelda gamer, just figuring out the puzzle. But if you stopped and just fucking went at it with common sense as in the real world, just thought about what you needed to do, there's like a 2-step thing to get it done. This game breaks a lot of Zelda stereotypes. There are so many times where I've been trying to figure out a puzzle and figure out a puzzle and figure out a puzzle, and I did something by accident and went, are you fucking kidding me? That's all I had that is fucking ingenious. Because that's not what I'm used to in a Zelda game. So when I'm thinking outside the box, I try to think outside the box all the time. I get to the Master Sword, I got 6, 7 hearts, I can't pull the sword out. I said, that's okay. I got you, bruh. Because I cook. And I've cooked lots of fucking different types of food. I've cooked some that's increased my hearts several times over. So fuck my 6 hearts. I've got a food that will increase my hearts up to 15 plus. I have 21 hearts now. Bring it on. So I fucking ate the food and I walked up to the pedestal and went to grab it and it brought my hearts back down to 6. So the game was like,
what a dick.
The game was like, nah.
It's like, nah, you play by the rules, motherfucker.
Your base, you need to come at me with what you got. So all this time I'm going out and doing these shrines. I'm thinking, yep, that's 1 more down. It takes 4 shrines to get 1 heart. So you have to you turn them in, you either turn 4 in for a heart or you turn 4 in for a little bit more on your stamina meter. Mm-hmm. And every time I do a shrine now, I'm like, that's 1 more. I'm up to 2. I do another one. Oh, I'm up to 3. I'm up to 4. Let me go get this heart. Let me race back there and try to pull it out. Nope, not enough. Go do some more. So I'm almost there. I feel like I'm like Damn. 2 or 3 hearts away, and I'm telling you, every time I've got that music cranked up, I can't wait till I can pull that thing out. So that's gonna be a good thing.
It's gonna take like 70 hearts to pull the thing out.
And that's fine by me, because it means I've had to work to get that thing. And so whatever reward is gonna be, just like you said.
What if the Master Sword is not like stuck in the stone? What if it's just that heavy? And he has to walk around dragging it behind him.
That would suck.
Like bigger on sword. He's like, clang.
I know it's not, because in the cutscenes it showed him actually practicing with a sword, and it's,
okay. Well, it would have been totally cool if it drowned you as soon as you went in the water with it.
So I'm still having fun. And this is another thing. When I've done it was probably about 40 or 50 hours into the game before I finally said, all right, enough fucking around for a bit. I'm gonna go try a main dungeon. And I did. And when I got done with the main dungeon, I didn't go, oh, let's go to the next place. I just went out and fucked around the world some more. I got lost in the world.
Are the dungeon rewards significantly more than the shrine rewards?
Not really.
Damn.
Main story-wise, yes. But again, if you're going into the big dungeons thinking like you're gonna find this big thing, you don't. You do find, you'll find awesome weapons. And you'll find extra items. You'll find some really quality stuff in the dungeons, but I haven't found the hook shot. I haven't found the magical boomerang. I haven't found the Pegasus boots. So it's progressed the story.
Do they have items like that?
They have boomerangs, and maybe there is a magical boomerang out there. I just haven't found it.
Well, what I'm saying is it's not the difference between the hook shot, say, and a fucking goddamn boomerang you picked up off the ground is that you can use the hook shot over and over.
Yeah, I haven't found
I mean, I understand that you can do that now with bombs. Like, bombs are now like an ability that you have.
Yeah.
Is there like a hook shot ability?
If there is, I have not found it. And I'm willing to say no.
Because I've seen like 3 abilities. One was like you make a bomb, and one was like, you make a big block of ice, and the other one was like, you move metal and shit.
Do you want me to tell you what they are, or you want to leave it be?
Well, I mean, I was just hoping that there was more than that.
Well, the ability slots you only have 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to say there's 5, and there's no empty spots behind it. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that there's no Pegasus boots, no hook shot, no wand, no none of that. Again, I don't fucking know. Maybe it's out there. Maybe they're really holding this shit till way later. I kind of doubt they are, because again, I'm like 70, 80 hours in this game yet. I figured I would have found something like that by now.
That hurts.
But I haven't. Again.
I mean, this was the perfect point to put all this stuff back in.
It is. But just like you said with Andromeda, it's good shit to put it into a sequel.
They didn't want anybody fucking, flying around using the hook shot to fucking swoop around on their fucking glider.
They want you to climb and want you to glide. They want you to explore. So, hey, I don't know what the fuck Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be like. I don't know what the next Zelda is going to be like. If the next game is this fucking big and this detailed and this quality oriented, but then they bring back the old shit, I would shit my pants.
It's going to be this big, but it's going to be a boat. Or it's going to be all underwater.
You also have to remember that these items, they change ways that you do things. Like, I feel accomplished when I climb hills, when I climb cliffs, when I climb mountains, and it feels cool as shit when I glide off of them to go wherever I need to go. Mm-hmm. If I could just grab a hook shot and go 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, I'm up this fucking mountain, it wouldn't feel the same. Which is why, again, I say if this is, maybe that would be an award for way late. Just like I would hope that the Master Sword would be a no durability, as to be like, hey, you've put hours and hours and hours into having weapons break in your hands. Now you have this bad fucking powerful sword that don't break. It would be really cool to have to go throughout the world and jump and climb and waste stamina and fall off a cliff and find another way to get up. And then I get an item that just lets me hook shot. I would feel rewarded for it.
Like, Blink always ends up in the same set of equipment.
Yeah.
He always ends up with, fucking
the Hylian shield, the Master Sword.
Well, he doesn't even have the Hylian shield. He has like the mirror shield, shit like that.
Yeah,
he has fucking. He ends up with like a sick, nasty Master Sword or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that you feel that way when you get to the end of the game. You're like, what up? And I want that feeling of complete kit.
If the last dungeon in this game is expansive and awesome, and the last boss fight is 2, 3, 4 levels, and the combat is awesome, I wouldn't give 2 shits.
Well, I heard that you can just roll straight up and dick punch Ganon.
Apparently you can. Badass. And I've went, if I was to pull my map up right now, you would see the castle, and you would see all my areas around that castle. I've been close to the castle. I've skirted the edges.
Mm-hmm.
And like jumped in and got a few items and ran the fuck away before I could get one-shotted by 4 different things.
Uh-huh.
But I know that I want to work myself up to be able to just get in there. I'm saving that dungeon for what I feel it should be, which is a big, grand, epic experience. And when I walk in that thing, I'm not gonna lie, I may go in there between now and the end of the game and test it to see what things are in there.
Just to see how powerful you actually are.
But I'm gonna have upgraded armor, which also you can upgrade armor.
Yeah.
There are, that's what, I'm not gonna tell you how you do it, but yes, there are levels to your armor that you can upgrade. You can get these things and you can upgrade them. So when I decide, okay, all 4 dungeons are done, I'm going in there with fucking awesome armor, powerful defensive armor. I'm going there with my Master Sword, hopefully upgraded beyond whatever it can be upgraded to. I'm going in there with a fuck ton of food and hopefully a bigger inventory so I can carry a shit ton of food, and I'm gonna fucking have my way with that thing. I have no desire to go in there right now and spend 3 or 4 days, getting one-shotted by everything just to say that I beat Ganon with 3 hearts. That's not what I'm in this for. I'm working towards everything I'm getting, and I'm having fun doing the work.
Yep. And I'm gonna play that game, and you're gonna be like, Adam, Did you finally beat Breath of the Wild? And be like, yes, I beat it with 3 hearts. I rolled up in there and killed Galley. Played the game for 5 minutes.
See, that is something else too. You can leave the starting area. This is in theory. You can leave the starting area and they go, here's the world, Link. Have fun. You can go to Ganon's castle. I have yet to hear of anybody tell me, or I've read that somebody said, yeah, and you can totally go all the way through Ganon's castle and you can totally beat Ganon with nothing but the shit you started with. Because we know that's not how you do it. You're gonna have to have some kind of magical arrow. You're gonna have to have the Master Sword. It's probably gonna have to deflect some things, or it's probably the only thing that can do damage to Ganon. You're gonna have to have found Zelda, and she's gonna have to help you somehow. So I've found none of that shit yet. So maybe I could just try it out and just roll up in the castle and see what it's like. But I feel like there's going to be some barrier there. No, you can't come in here yet.
Yeah.
You know, just like the Master Sword is a barrier, that's going to be a barrier too. If you out there in the audience, if you've already beat Breath of the Wild and you're awesome and you fucking did it with only, 3 or 4 hearts, let us know. Don't tell me how you did it. But it would be just nice to know that you could do that. Maybe I'll do that as a challenge one day.
No, but that was the end of, it just reminds me of the very end game of Link, or, Link to the Past, where, you find the spot where you start at in the Dark World is now the very end of the game.
Yep.
So you literally go to the Dark World and bam, you're sitting right in front of the hole you jump down in to go see Ganon.
Yep.
It was just really surprising to think that you were that close to him the entire time.
So yeah, again, that's my big talk for Breath of the Wild. I could just repeat the same shit I said last episode. I'm still keeping it as a 9.5 out of 10. I went out and bought a console just for this game. I bought the game itself. I am happy with both purchases. I've been playing this thing for 80, 90 something hours now. I'm still having a blast. And again, the common sense comes into play. I do understand that once I play this game for 200, 300, 400 hours, yes, by that point, I have seen everything and known everything.
Yeah.
But I'm still walking through areas and finding things I've never seen. I'm finding things where it's like, that's a cool little detail. I mean, you have night and day. There's shit you're going to see at nighttime you don't see in the daytime.
Yeah.
It'll rain. And this is a cool little addition. I guess this is one weather thing I'll spoil for you. It'll tell you can see this on the screen. It'll tell you what weather's coming. So I'm sure you told me before I knew about it, the thing about lightning, like you've been struck by lightning. Yeah. Well, if you see a lightning icon coming up, lightning is going to be coming up soon. So you're going to have to equip your metal stuff. Well, when it rains, it's so fucking tricky how it'll do you. It will rain. And that'll make walls slick, so it's harder to climb up the mountains. It's harder to climb up hills.
Yeah.
But that's not the only time it rains. There'll be times you'll just be walking through the world and you'll get a little drizzle a little rain for about 3 minutes, and then it'll go away. You'll have parts where it'll just be bam, torrential rain for about 10 seconds and will go away. You could look up and see the clouds going by. It's not detailed like real life, but it's not just, it's raining, it's not raining. There are times where it says it's supposed to be sunny weather, and you get a little bit of rain. It's cool. You have lava areas, you have ice areas, you have desert areas.
Does it rain in the desert?
Does
it rain in the desert?
I want to say it has. Funny thing, this is something you and I will appreciate, or you'll appreciate, because I did. There was somebody in a town in the desert at nighttime was freezing his ass off. And he was like, well, why is it so cold? I came here to the desert for the warmth and I'm freezing my butt off. I was like, yeah, just like in the real world when you get fucking deployed overseas and you're like, 120 degree weather. And they're like, nah, bro, wait till nighttime rolls around.
Oh, it's 90. Freeze at 90 degrees.
Yeah. So that's my thing. Again, if you haven't, apparently from what Adam says and what I say both, if you haven't played Andromeda or Breath of the Wild, go out and play them. You'll have a good time with Breath of the Wild, and apparently you'll have a good time with Andromeda. They're both hot games right now. Good stuff. So slightly off topic. Have you okay.
Welcome to the podcast.
Okay.
Hey.
Slightly off topic. I did watch the newest trailer for Spider-Man Homecoming and the second Justice League trailer. Have you seen any of these?
I haven't seen the second Justice League trailer yet.
I mean, all I can, good luck. That's all I can tell them.
Good luck.
I hope y'all are doing a good job because I'm hype as shit to see.
Right now, the fucking cartoon universe for DC kicks the shit out of the fucking movie universe.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Damn.
You watch like the Flashpoint Paradox or any of that?
Mm-mm. Oh, I did. Yeah.
Any of the DC animated movies is just fucking immaculate, but watching anything like they've done live action sucks balls.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't fucking particularly hate Suicide Squad. I understand there are people out there that fucking hated that movie. I wasn't one of them. I was like, it's pretty good. It's a good movie.
I didn't hate it. I was just very disappointed.
I was disappointed, but I wasn't like outraged. If that makes sense.
No, I wasn't outraged either.
It wasn't like watching, the thing that I knew going into it that I was going to hate it, which was the fucking, what was it, the last X-Men movie that came out where they had Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, God, they did it again. I knew it was going to happen.
Thanks for ruining one of the,
Yeah.
But again, Logan's good, so you need to give it a watch.
I'm going to fuck you.
You're going to fuck me?
I'm going to fuck you. And Aaron,
you understand that
time.
People listen to this.
They do.
Okay.
They don't listen to me fuck you.
No.
Podcast.
So, we're going to roll into the topic for today. The topic today is going to be something that's going to be a bit of a recurring theme. It's not going to be every single episode, mind you. We'll pepper this out throughout the times. But we're going to start talking about video games as a whole. We're going to do like a year in review for all video games.
Yep. 2017. Here we go.
Yep. Year's already rolling good. Breath of the Wild's great. Andromeda's a fucking massive disappointment. Oh. No, so what the
effect?
So what the idea is we're gonna start in the year 1985 because I believe that is the year that the Nintendo Entertainment System was released. Mm-hmm. And there's a bunch of games around it, but we're not strictly focusing on the Nintendo. The premise is we're gonna go through year by year, starting with 85, and we'll go to 86 on another episode, and 87 on and so forth. And we're just gonna pick out a bunch of games that we know we can talk about, and we're just gonna highlight every year of video gaming as a whole.
Yeah.
This is gonna be challenging when we get toward like the 2000s and later when there's a shit ton of consoles out and a fuck ton of games too. But we're up for the challenge and we're up for talking about games all the time.
Yeah. Sure. I'm cautiously pessimistic.
Cautiously pessimistic.
That's right.
Pretty much sure it's gonna go to shit.
I'm 100% certain it's going to shit.
Confidently pessimistic. So again, this is the first one. This will be scattered throughout. It won't be every single episode in a row. Whenever we feel like it, we'll be talking about it. But this will be the first one. And today we're going to talk about 1985 in the gaming world. Now, we also started in 1985 because Adam and I both have varying degrees of Atari history, but Atari wasn't. I think we brought this up on the memories on the Zeta episode. The Atari I did play, and I do remember some of those old games, but they weren't at my heart yet. They
were up in my heart. I had some. Man, I played Donkey Kong on the Atari before I played it on the NES.
Well, if need be, we can go back. We can do like everything before, and we could probably loop all that together in one episode.
Yep, it'd be called the fucking shit games.
Yeah. You gonna talk about the old ET, huh? Sure, we'll talk about.
We can talk about the many variations of Pong.
Mm-hmm. Talk about the many variations of Pac-Man, like the one that I played for the 2600 because it was the only one I had. And then I got to an actual arcade and played Pac-Man and was like, what the fuck have I been playing? Oh my God.
This is nothing at all like what I've seen.
Again, when all you have is all you have, that's all you know. And that's all I knew.
One of the coolest thing about those old arcade cabinets though was the art.
Oh yeah.
Because you get to see like, the Ninja Turtles on the side of the fucking arcade machine, or you got to see Pac-Man fucking chasing the ghosts and shit.
And the same thing could be said about artwork and well, there was exceptions, of course, but artwork on Atari game cases did not match what you were getting.
Nothing.
Oh my God.
People talk about E.T. being a bad fucking game, but you know what? There were a lot of bad Atari games.
Oh, yeah.
There were a lot. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Maybe some of them will make it on a future episode if we talk about, if we just have an episode talking about shitty games.
Maybe once we evolve, to like a YouTube kind of thing, we can be like, then we'll like have like gameplay footage of shitty games.
Or maybe
but it's really hard to describe how bad Atari games are just using words.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, oh, it's a block like every other Atari game, but this block is supposed to be an alien.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
You can't really tell that, but I mean, it doesn't really come across that well without pictures.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, we're just going to start at 85, and we're just going to work our way up. And it's going to be very easy to see what we're doing because we're literally reading off of lists, but we're just going to talk about the games that we know and see where we can go.
Here we go. Here's the day.
You kind of have to check this list out and see if you can
check.
See if there's anyone on
the Back to the Future game. Oh my fucking God.
Oh yes, I remember. Now, yeah, it was only one. I remember the Back to the Future game.
God.
Yes.
The first stage, it's like, you know what? I hated Nintendo era scrolling levels where it was like, don't stop moving. The guy doesn't know how to fucking stop.
Yep.
Okay. But this one was worse because it didn't go side to side. It went up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very Paperboy-esque.
Vertical auto-scrolling, engage.
Except that you didn't have the attack, I don't think.
I don't think so. I think you just had to dodge
everything. Like the Paperboy could fling a fucking paper and maybe save his own goddamn ass every once in a while.
Yep.
No. Marty McFly, no such luck.
Hey, that's the power of love.
He was like, oh my God, it's a skateboard. I ride skateboards in the movie, but in here, they're a lethal fucking killing machine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember making it through that game and being very aggravated. I remember dying to they had a pane of glass. You crashed into that. I remember, I think bowling. No.
The second level was
throw
bowling
balls.
The second level was bowling balls.
Okay.
You had to you went to like the 1950s diner and for whatever reason they decided to attack you.
Yeah, they were throwing fucking root beer bottles at you.
Yeah, or some shit like that. Yeah, and you were just like, no, Daddy,
you had to fuck that girl on the bar.
Yeah, you fucked her. You fucked her. Right then.
Yeah, this is why kids aren't allowed to play games right there. Thanks Back to the Future game. No, there was no sex in this game. Again, with the level of bullshit that game threw at you, I think I only ever made it whatever level was past that root beer throwing level, and that was about as far as I could get because that game was bullshit. But it also, just like Atari games, this was another one of those, hey, what should we make a video game about? I don't know. There's a cool movie.
Any game with a fucking movie license back then is toxic as hell.
Yep.
You just stay the fuck away from it.
Except Goonies 2. That was actually a pretty good game. The Goonies, or maybe it was the first, maybe it was...
There was no Goonies 1.
The game?
There was no Goonies 1 game.
Okay, well then Goonies 2 then. The Goonies 2 game was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes. Had some RPG-ish elements to it. See any up here that strike your fancy?
Nope.
Moving on down. See, this is why it's good we don't have a video.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Good old fucking something.
Oh, you're not seeing anything. Okay. Yeah, again, I think in the Nintendo era, Nintendo was just released. And these aren't just Nintendo games. This is any console that released any game around 1985. And, the fact is this is very, very, very early Nintendo.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have many.
No, not even a little bit.
Was it November 85, as a matter of fact?
Yeah, it was late, I believe.
Yeah. Let's see. A lot, Dig Dug 2. Well, I do remember Dig Dug from Atari.
I remember Dig Dug in the arcade.
Oh, wow. Well, fucking Got me beat.
Yeah, man. My grandmother would be like, "Here, take some coins," and I'd have to carefully search out the game I wanted to play.
Yeah.
Because like it was like one of those like you get 2 quarters kind of deals, and that's the game you get to play for 50 seconds while it tries to murder you. You know, and you know,
was the point of this is a lot of this is going to be refresher for both of us, but was the point of Dig Dug's levels was you were supposed to kill all the enemies, or was it you had to get to an objective?
I think there was an objective, and you like digged
towards
it, and you could like puff up the enemies. I can't remember a whole lot about it. It was just like I remember that you used a bicycle pump to murder the fuck out of things.
So it would have a level, and it would have multiple layers, or horizontal layers.
Yeah.
And you literally dug your way a chunk at a time through the layers, and these enemies would go up and down levels trying to get to you. And if you got to an enemy, you could run from it, but your method of attack is jamming a fucking bike pump in their mouth and they fucking explode.
Which is a fucking brutal way to kill people, by the way.
Yes, very, very brutal. But it worked. I think there were fruits.
I bet it did.
There were fruits in the level.
There are fruits in every game back then. They were just like, oh, Marty McFly, eat some fucking strawberries. Yay, power.
Yep. I mean, I guess it was a fun game. I loved it. I've never played in the arcade, so I guess you just got a graphical upgrade in the arcade, you know.
Oh, God. Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. You played it?
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
That was one of those games that I played back in, it was one of the ones I swapped for way back in the day. And man, let me tell you that me and my friends back in that era, we had like a Jason fucking thing going on. Like it was all about discussing Jason and all the cool things he did.
Oh yeah.
You know, it was like a big thing that like Jason wasn't actually in the 1st and the 5th movies, you know. You know, they had all these cool things, and they, you know, Jason was like my favorite horror movie villain. So I got to play this fucking game, and I found out you weren't Jason. And I was like, this is the opposite.
You thought you were going to play as Jason.
I thought I was going to play as Jason.
Because Jason was on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no. I don't want to be the dumbasses.
You had to be the kids, and you could throw fucking rocks.
And this is not like, you know, anywhere near puberty Adam. This is like 7-year-old Adam. It's like, oh no. You know, what little bit of the movies I had seen, you know, it was always funny because you'd see little boobies and you'd be like, boobies.
Yep.
But I remember I was like, okay, well, let me pick the dudes. And the dudes were all terrible because like they were slow, not very good at getting their objectives. And I mean, if you've ever played that game, you'd get you could actually find little paths. Like it was all side scrolling. You'd fight zombies for some reason, would just pop the fuck up out of the ground for no reason.
Swamp monster looking
so
things.
And then like you would notice like a path to the north, and you press that, and you have no idea which way you actually just turned.
Yeah, the way the map represented you was quite difficult to understand as what you were actually going, or where you were actually going.
It was really, really difficult to understand. They gave you a map, which is better than a lot of games.
Yeah.
But
the way they implemented the map was not good.
Oh man, you like walked like I think you walked like either clockwise or counterclockwise around a big circle, and the circle had like little branches, and you didn't know whether or not you were going up or down when you went up.
Yeah, it's like the map itself was on your screen and it was static.
Yeah,
but when you moved, they would change your perspective,
change the location of the dot.
You just had to know, okay, I came from a 3-way split. I took a left, but that means on the map I'm going right.
Yes.
Because that's where it's so fucking retarded.
Yep.
God.
And there were like caves and woods. And, oh man.
I remember you gunning for a fucking
You could go
knife.
inside houses.
Yep.
And fucking Jason would be there. You'd see the little Jason thing in the bottom, and you'd just immediately go for the door.
Yep.
He'd be like, yep, nope, Jason's here. We're not going in this fucking...
You'd always hear the beep beep or whatever when you knew somebody was in trouble, and you're like, well, I guess I got to go find my fellow camp person that's in trouble. Good God, if I could ever get to him.
Breaking off topic here for a second, but they've got a new Friday the 13th game coming out, and it actually looks really cool.
I don't think it'll be better than this game though.
I think it will be more true to the actual movies.
Yeah.
because
So now I know on a personal level why you're interested in this game so much, because Jason is your favorite.
he's my favorite horror.
Oh, well, shit. Now I'm like, why are you always telling me about Jason? Nobody even talks about Friday the 13th anymore. Now I know.
Well, they had, and it's been like, this is back when I was like 6, 7 years old.
Looking at boobies.
Looking at boobies.
Shame
because
on you.
That's what I do.
That's
my nuts
no
dropped.
shame. You
My
have no
nuts
shame.
dropped back in kindergarten.
Really?
That's right. I was just fucking.
You were just
I
fucking?
was just fucking.
Adam.
I was.
No, you weren't.
I was the fucking premier kindergartner fucking all time. So anywho,
Sure.
One of the new cool things about the new game is that 7 people play as camp counselors, and one person does play as Jason.
Ah, yeah.
And he's got like superpowers and shit compared to the other people. The other people have the objective of fucking survive and escape.
Fucking surviving and escaping. Got it.
Well, no, I think it would be really cool if they had.
I mean, that would be true to the movie.
If they, what would be awesome is if Jason could just randomly determine when he spawned,
Oh, yeah.
and like the camp counselors had to go around and they couldn't like prep for Jason. They would get like extra stuff for, I don't know, swimming and, fucking and doing stuff that, teenagers do. Like they have to go and like dance or, go do drugs or something like that before they, and they get like bonus points for doing it. Like doing drugs and fucking at the same time get you extra bonus points or something.
That'd be cool.
That would be, it would give a gameplay mechanic kind of feedback reason for why you'd want to go do something ridiculously stupid in this situation. But, if you manage to survive after doing drugs and fucking, then you'd get like, I don't know, more experience to level up your people or something.
You really want to do drugs and fuck, don't you?
Well, I'm just thinking that it would be more accurate to the game.
I agree. To the movie. Yeah.
For a gameplay mechanic. But right now, the way it looks like is they spend the time just like, I gotta find some type of weapon, and then I gotta find, a battery for the car and some gas for the car, and they start like herding together, man, that never happens in the movies. You never have the giant group of teens all banding together to fight Jason.
No, which would have been a smart thing to do.
Yeah, but, I mean, in the video game, obviously, they're going to be talking to each other and being like, no, daddy, no.
Yeah.
Jason's over here, don't let him fucking kill me.
Or, like they did in a Nintendo game, beep, beep.
Beep, beep, beep.
There was something.
And Jason was murdering the fuck out of some little kids in that game.
Yeah.
And he didn't actually kill kids in the fucking... Because he did come face to face with kids all the time. And he would be like, nah, I'm not going to kill the kid. There were a couple kids he tried to kill because they were fucking with him.
Yeah.
But, specific situations where he ran into other kids, he just left them alone. He just disappeared.
I remember this game being so shitty of the way, I believe you started out with rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
then you could like upgrade to a
threw
knife.
in an arc.
Yeah.
And you hated it, not because just the damage that dealt, because it would fly over a fucking enemy's head.
Yeah.
So I gotta find a knife. There's a knife somewhere on this map. I've got to find it. And then you get the knife and you go in the first house and like, okay, I need to go find it. Dead.
Yup.
Man. But hey, they tried their best.
They tried. They get a little gold star.
See any other ones up here? Cause I see Gauntlet.
I see G.I. Joe. I played that.
Oh, you played G.I. Joe? A real American hero, G.I. Joe?
It was actually pretty decent.
Tell me about it, cause I never played it.
It's actually pretty decent. It's like almost a Contra clone kind of thing. Well, I guess everything's a fucking Contra clone when you think about it.
Sure, Zelda's a Contra clone.
Every Zelda is a Contra clone. Confirmed. So, in any case, you would pick your little hero dude, and they had little special powers and shit like that, and you'd run around just shooting the shit out of stuff and going through some pretty decent little levels. I don't remember a whole lot about what the game was about. I remember that you could get like the snow dude, and you could get like the ninja dude.
Snow dude.
You remember the snow G.I. Joe guy?
Yeah, his name was Snow Dude.
His name was Snow Dude, and he went, yo, he yodeled. I don't fucking know.
I don't, because G.I. Joe was in my childhood, but I didn't get to watch it. I think it's something that it didn't come on my local network of TV shows. So I got to see the movie.
See, we had like a little 4-hour cartoon block that came
I did
on.
too, but it was never G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
So I saw the movie and I saw a few shows, but G.I. Joe wasn't that one of those childhood cartoons for me like the Ninja Turtles were, or Thundercats, or Voltron.
But see, I had all that, and I had G.I. Joe.
I just never, they just didn't show it on mine, I guess.
Yep. It wasn't my favorite show.
Yeah.
By far, because it was very, I don't know, there was just something weird about it. It didn't appeal. It wasn't all fantastical and stuff. You were just like, man. Yeah, the cool thing was it had Sergeant Slaughter, and he was usually like fighting a rubber snake at the beginning of the fucking show. So,
but hey, the great thing about G.I. Joe is we got all the PSA shit from later on in our life. So.
Oh yeah, it endured.
Let's see. Gauntlet? Oh yeah, I remember Gauntlet.
Yeah, played Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
You go around, you get to pick your little dude and go through the place. You get the arrows that bounce and come back and hit you.
It was like a live action thing of Dungeons and Dragons without all the numbers and the dice rolling.
It was without any of the good parts of Dungeons and Dragons.
Sure, it's like Dungeons and Dragons, but not like Dungeons and Dragons at all.
Got it. Confirmed.
No, but it was a top-down game. It was a dungeon crawler type of game. There was walls and there were locked doors, and every room pretty much had some kind of enemy or some kind of food or item or something.
Some little thing that you wanted to get, and you'd fight your friends over getting.
You could do it
cool
multiplayer.
Stuff.
You and your friend could go through it, and you could be a wizard and there'll be a warrior or whatever. And man, for what it was back in the day. Now I believe this also was that an original game or was it an arcade port?
It was an arcade port.
There's so many arcade games you would be amazed when I go back through my Nintendo library memories. It seems like almost half of them, yeah, man, that was an arcade game. No fucking way.
Yeah. It was much better in the arcade too.
Yeah, they just ported, fuck it. We gotta get it on this console. We gotta bring everything over. Which leads me to, Ghosts and Goblins. I did not know until in my mid-20s that was an arcade game originally.
Damn.
That game right there, Adam, that is my, hardest game ever. That's my trophy game.
Don't worry, because I quit.
That game?
I quit that game before I got through the first level.
I beat that game when I was 13 years old. And I'm going to tell you now, that is the one and only time. Dark Souls is hard. Okay, yeah. It's fucking meant to be hard.
It's not Nintendo hard.
No.
Nintendo hard was like, yeah, we're trying to get more quarters out of you, but you already got all the quarters.
Exactly. Ninja Gaiden for the PlayStation, for the Xbox, there's another hard game. Got it. This game was back in Nintendo days where it was fucking shit stupid difficult, like Ninja Gaiden 2 difficulty, crazy shit. You played as this knight, and you can only get hit twice. I believe I think it's been like since I was 16 years old that I played this last. But I think stand alone, you could get hit twice. You were in a suit of armor. If you got hit once, you were down to your underwear. And you're like, well, fucking make it through the level. And if you hit again, you died. You had 2 lives, and I think you had no continues. It's been too long. Been way, way too long. I say, this game has been the only time that I have I had a notebook where I had maps. I had drawn every single level as I progressed. I marked down where the enemies were. I'd make little notes like takes 2 hits, take 1 hit. If I go back a bit on the screen and come back, this enemy will disappear. This is where this item drops. This item may be a random item. Don't touch this item. This was like 20 something pages of levels.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just the fact that I did all that shit to go through the game. It's the fact that at the end of the game, when you beat the game, you don't beat the game. You have to go through the game again.
Yeah, there were a
harder
couple of
difficulty.
games like that.
Other shit spread around. I had to take a whole I literally had a fucking notebook dedicated just to ghouls and ghosts.
Damn.
And it's the only time I did that. So you remember back in the day, we had discussions about difficult games, like Ninja Gaiden 2 was one of them, like Super C and all these difficult games. there were countless other difficult games in the Nintendo era. When I did that one for Ghosts and Goblins, I said, motherfucker, that's it. That's it. I beat this one I'm working at. Man, I beat Ghouls and Ghosts. I mean, Ghosts and Goblins, I'm done. Once you go through that hell for one game, and I think that was about 8.5 months, not even straight playing. I
felt really good when I beat Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, yeah.
I beat Ninja Gaiden 2, and I was like, man, I'm fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
When you beat these old Nintendo games, you had to fucking work. And honestly, it's not, this is where that artificial difficulty comes in.
Because that was artificial difficulty on steroids.
Exactly. A lot of these games were ports of arcade games. Now, arcade games were inherently difficult because they want to eat your quarters.
Yes,
but that shit didn't care. Well,
they didn't mind cheating you.
Yeah.
In an arcade game.
Exactly. Well, when they brought that shit to the console, not only were they limited by graphics and engine and everything else, they didn't care about being twice as cheap because they were. Holy hell! They wanted to make these things. It wasn't always just you figuring out a level or getting better at your skill. It was get past the cheap deaths over and over and over again.
Yep.
So when you beat Nintendo games, at least
you felt that accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know
when you
I mean?
beat hard Nintendo games back in the day, it wasn't always that you just, you overcome the beast. It's you put the fucking work in.
Yeah. You know what? I can't the fucking level on Ninja Gaiden 2 that had the damn lightning.
Yes, and it would you could only see the level if when the lightning hit and it lit up the platforms. But then there were bats that were on that level.
Yeah, it was like eagles or some shit flying around. Something. Yeah, fuck that thing. Fuck that whole fucking level.
Ghosts and Goblins is my one and only claim to fame from the Nintendo era. I'm sure I beat other ones, but man, that's the one where I was like, I don't give a fuck if I beat anything else. I beat this one. And if any of these other games take a percentage of this bullshit to beat, I'm just gonna have fun with them. or they're gonna get to a point where I go, no.
Time to throw in the Game Genie. Did you have a Game Genie?
I had a Game Genie.
I had a Game Genie.
My cousins had a Game Genie. A lot of my friends had one. Yep. And the way that we've always done it is that if we beat the game one time, unless we were going to another type of, if I beat the game on normal, I wouldn't use a Game Genie to go to the hard level.
Yeah.
If I beat the game one way, I wouldn't use a Game Genie if I wanted to beat the game another way. If I beat the game on, mode A on normal difficulty, if I go back through normal game or A mode, normal difficulty, I will use a Game Genie then just to fuck around.
Yeah.
But I never pulled that shit out because I needed, but I tell you what, the way some of these games were, infinite lives code, you felt like fuck you, I'm justified. Tell me I get fucking 6 levels into this game and I get hit once and I gotta go all the way back over again and again and no, fuck you. Infinite life code, yep.
The whole concept of continues was just like to brutalize you.
Exactly. So moving down the line for these games, Gyromite, by chance, you ever played Gyromite?
Nope.
Gyromite was one of the console's peripheral, and I'm saying gimmicky in a respectful way, it was one of the console's gimmicky peripheral games.
It was the beginning of Nintendo being fucking full of fucking shit sometimes.
Sure. You can look this up for yourself. I'm not even sure what the thing was.
I remember seeing videos of it, and it was like you move like pipes or some shit, right?
Yes. It's hard to describe here on the audio podcast, so I suggest if you want to check it out, just look up the game Gyromite. It came with a little peripheral.
It had like the robot, right?
No, that was Rob. I think Rob could play this game. There was 2 peripherals. The Gyromite game was played with this. It was this gray apparatus. It had little pillars and it had a blue plunger and a red plunger, and you could use those to manipulate the pipes in the game. I personally only played this game twice, so we're talking 8, 9 years old, foggy details. But I think the idea also was you could hook this apparatus up to Rob, and Rob could kind of sort of play the game for you, or he could do certain things for you. I mean, for what they were doing, for what they were trying, adding different things, it was a cool idea. But I think as far as that little gray apparatus, I think there was only 1 or 2 games that even used it. So, kind of wasteful,
Yeah.
about all I got to say about those. Like I said, I only played a couple times.
We got the reference for the day.
What?
All I got to say.
Yeah, sure did.
Hardball.
You played hardball?
Yep, the very
Okay.
first one.
All right.
It was beginning of a very good series. But unfortunately, not the best entry in that series. It was up there with RBI Baseball for just having a baseball game on the Nintendo.
Several baseball games for the Nintendo.
Yeah.
There was like 2 or 3 RBIs. There's 1 or 2 straight Nintendo.
They had
baseball
one that was
games.
about robots
Griffey
fighting each
Jr.'s
other, and it was the
baseball.
best one. It was the best one ever.
What's that?
I can't remember what it was called. It was robots fighting each other. It was like Base Wars or something like that.
Oh, was that for Nintendo?
Yeah, and like you would get like
yeah.
instead you throw the ball to second base, and instead of tagging the runner out, they would fight to the death.
Oh, yeah.
And you had like the robot that had like the laser sword, and like ones that had like the hover legs, and ones that had like the tank legs.
Yes.
Yeah.
90s baseball game right there. Let's
Yup.
combine baseball
And fucking robots. They need to do that again.
Why haven't we had something like that lately?
Because
Why haven't we had a
game developers suck.
Let's take monsters and combine them with football. Fucking great game.
Yup.
Don't see shit
That
like
was a Sega
anymore.
game, I believe.
Yeah, but still, the point remains.
Yeah.
Nobody clashes these old things like they used to. Hold on, let me say that in my old man voice. They don't clash.
Back in my day, we used to have monsters playing foosball.
Diddle you.
Oh God. Back in my day, you could get a blowjob while you were playing the game.
What do you mean back in the day?
Yeah.
Shit. That's the way to play.
Damn. Jesus.
All right, moving on.
Now we know why you haven't progressed any in Zelda.
Let's see. Ice Climber. I never played Ice Climber.
I saw it played once.
I know about Ice Climber because of Smash Brothers. That's a
I
long.
saw it being played at a friend's house one time,
Yeah.
and that was it. And it did not interest me.
See, no more of the eyes that I see. Jet Set Willie. What the fuck? What?
It's either Jet Set Radio or fucking, what was that game for PlayStation where Jet Moto?
Jet Moto. Oh god, that'll be down the road when we get to that bad boy. I never played Jet Moto, so I can't really.
Oh,
I think I
God.
played a demo. You remember we were talking about the PlayStation
Yeah.
demo discs?
Had a demo disc for it.
Yeah.
King's Quest.
King's Quest. You played King's Quest?
I'm not sure if that's the game. I'd have to click on it real quick. Let's take a look at it.
All right. King's Quest 2 is the one that was released on the. Let's see what console it is in 1985. So this is a sequel. Looks like it was an Amiga game.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not sure if this is the one. There was one where you did like jousting. You had like a bunch of different, I don't think this is the one, but it had jousting, and it's basically like going through a king's tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had, every once in a while you get to the part where like they fought each other with maces. And you'd smash, it's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You'd smash the dude with the mace, and he'd smash you back, and each time the guy would get a little bit lower,
swear I remember
and
seeing
lower,
this.
and lower until he fucking fell off the screen and you won.
Yeah.
You know? I can't remember what
Never
the name of that
played it.
game was, but yeah, no, it's not that.
That was Super Mario Brothers 2. You
That was.
fucking asshole.
That was Doki Doki Panic.
Doki Doki Panic. Never knew that shit about that till way
Oh,
later in
man.
my life. Hey, did you know it was based on Doki Doki Panic? Nope. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Monopoly. You ever play fucking Monopoly?
Did you ever play Monopoly?
I
A
totally
1985
played Monopoly.
video game for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
I think I rented that
I
once.
think I played it a few times too. Solo, by myself, playing a
Yep.
fucking computer because I had no friends to play Monopoly with.
Oh God.
Yep.
Oh
You
God.
see something up here?
It's fucking Paperboy. Remember what we were talking
Oh,
about?
yep.
Yep, there we go. Fucking Paperboy.
You'll have to talk because I've
It's
never
Back to the Future
I've
with
never played
better
a Paperboy.
mechanics.
never played a Paperboy.
What? How could you never play a fucking Paperboy? It was basically like it had the same, like, it wasn't exactly vertical scrolling. It was actually like up and to the right scrolling. And, you would like ride down the street delivering papers to people, and right before the mission they'd tell you, okay, here's this like map of houses, and like some of the houses were one color and some were a different color. And they were like, these are the people that have subscriptions. And what you do is you ride down the street, try not to die, and try to give the papers to the people who actually have the fucking subscriptions.
So real life.
But what actually happens is you ride down the street and just throw the fucking papers willy-nilly at any fucking thing that tries to kill you. Because you don't want to die. So, yeah. It had nothing to do with delivery papers.
No.
You'd smash people's windows and shit.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Did you use them as weapons against people?
You could use them as use them as weapons, but the idea was to put it on either on their front door or in their mailbox.
Right.
But you could fucking kill yourself quite easily, transitioning from like the sidewalk to the road.
Uh-huh.
And you had to make sure that you transitioned from the sidewalk to the road in certain instances. Like there'd be stuff blocking the sidewalk, so you need to get on the road real quick. But there's a curb. And if you hit the curb, you die.
That sounds about right. That sounds Nintendo.
So you can't, they had little ramps where you could transition.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you didn't always know whether or not a car was coming or something was going to block the way, and you didn't take the fucking, now you're dead.
Yep.
You could slowly ride towards it so that it made you look like more of an effeminate fucking little weasel when you fucking slammed into the, to the puddle at 3 fucking miles a year. You know,
that's Nintendo all the way around.
That kid's like literally walking his bike, hits the puddle, and fucking falls over.
Yep.
Paperboy murdered
by
a runaway lawnmower.
2 mile an hour accident. He hit a curb.
But yeah,
dead.
it was one of those games that stuck with you, and it was really fun to play.
I know about it. I just never had it and never played it. I wish I could say more about it. I know the level of popularity it got, and I know it was all over the place, but I never played it.
Rambo.
Oh, Rambo. Again, noticing a trend here. Cartoons and movies to video games. Go. Oh, was this game bad?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Oh.
It showed Rambo with a machine gun on the cover.
And
Rambo had a fucking knife in the game, and he fought snakes. You fought snakes.
Now,
you got dropped off in the jungle, and you fought snakes.
Now, be
and
fair,
spiders
Adam,
with a knife.
Adam, be fair. You got a machine gun later, right?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, you did not. You never got a machine.
Look, we only have the Nintendo we can only render the knife at him. But I've seen Contra. What is Contra?
You would fight people with guns.
Uh-huh.
Every once in a while.
Oh, they would have guns, but you didn't.
Yeah, correct.
Oh.
So,
wow.
And, you'd roll through the jungle with your knife and, fuck people up with that. But here's the kicker, man. Here's the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
So you're rolling around, killing shit with your
at the speed of sound?
You're rolling around at the speed of sound.
Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow?
Yes. That. Rainbow Road.
No.
Mario Kart. It comes full circle.
Don't you ever put Sonic and Sonic and Mario in the same. Oh wait, they already do that.
Yes. They should put him in the kart games.
Who, Sonic?
Yes.
Why?
He should just run.
Yeah.
And they should race him on the kart.
Yes. How cool would that be, Mario Kart 10? We brought Sonic into the mix. And it shows everybody getting in the car and Sonic's just standing there stretching.
Yep.
And Mario's like, hey, where is he on the car? And Sonic's like, no.
You see, like, Mario, like, bat him in the knee. He's like, oh.
Oh, man.
Savage.
See any more in the R's? How about S's maybe? I'm so sorry. I wish we had more to talk about in these games. But again...
Oh, man. Some of these games are really, really obscure.
Yes. Like Sky Kid. I heard of Sky Kid. Never played it, though.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, look. They had some Star Trek and Star Wars games. What do you know? What do you know?
I did play a Star Trek game for the NES.
Oh, yeah?
It was actually surprisingly deep.
Wow. I was never a Star Trek guy, so...
I wasn't a Star Trek kid. I learned to like it, like, in my teenage years. I was like, yeah. I had friends that, like, were into it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I see that. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But as a, I don't know how fucking old I was, but it was really young. Mm-hmm. And, like, I remember, like, some kind of plant thing that, like, was shoot fucking lasers at you, and... Yeah, and like they would talk, so there was reading involved in this game.
Oh, you mean like dialogue?
Yeah, there were like dialogue boxes would pop up. and you would like go like
Double dribble.
You had to select like the tricorder to scan like you had to switch between the tricorder, which is like the little scanner thing, and then the fucking the phaser, and like it was incredible. Like you needed to know you needed to be like a Star Trek fan to play that game.
Well, hell, if they were catering to their audience, then
I mean, if you like Star Trek, that's a pretty good game to play.
Yeah,
but I did not have I did not have a really good time playing it the first time I played it. I played it again years later, and I was like, man,
for what
was I getting into?
Yeah.
Cause like you had to like go find 3 things and deliver them to a fucking dude. You had to go find 3 of these like shooter plants and deliver them to a dude, and then he lets you do this other thing, and like that was a big ordeal.
Yeah,
it was a big
for
fucking
a 2-year-old
ordeal
kid,
for some kid to be like, well,
14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So I know we see one right here in the S. This is Super Mario Brothers.
Never played it.
Holy cow. Never played it for real. Don't you fucking
laugh at me?
That would be a revelation right there. This game came packed with the Nintendos back in the day. Usually it came in 3 different ways. It would be Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Yep.
Or Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, and Track Meet.
Yep.
Okay, sure. We'll play Track Meet. But this is just Super Mario Brothers. What hasn't been said about Super Mario Brothers? What isn't known about this game?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You have to jump over that first Goomba.
No, I don't think you have to.
You can't just walk into him. Mario will not just beat the fuck out of that Goomba.
Are you being real right now?
Yeah, you have to you can either jump on it or you jump over it, but you can't just walk into it.
No, you can. That's how the level teaches you about damage. So
I could never get past that part. I just kept trying to run into him.
All you had to do was run into him.
I just back up and get more speed, and I'd ram into him, and it didn't matter how much momentum Mario had.
Punch, and he punches the Goomba.
he turns into Sonic and just goes.
No, I had this game. I had this game, and of course, I played it at friend's house. I played it at people's house before I ever had it, and I mean, again, for what it is back in the day, this was also a difficult game. I know I beat it since I was in my teenage years, but that game can get rough. If you happen to make it all the way to to Koopa's Castle, where it's it had like 3 levels that you could run on. And you had to run to the upper one, or then you had to run to the middle one, then upward to the upper one. If you got the wrong path, it would start over. That's some crazy shit I never played back in the day.
Yeah.
Had a night level. That was cool. The underwater level was an underwater level.
Yeah. It was what it was, man. But let's see what the second game is. Superman the game.
Oh, Lord.
Was actually a pretty damn good game.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I don't know what...
You were running around...
What are we going to offer more to Super Mario?
You could run around as Clark Kent and fucking, like, find food and fuck. You'd be like, yeah, I'm Superman. You can't stop me.
I didn't know this game was so lewd.
But you could jump into phone booths and turn into Superman, go around and fuck shit up with your eye lasers. Like, you could switch between your powers, like freeze breath and stuff.
Oh, really?
You run around punching people. Yeah, it was good. It's actually a pretty decent little game.
Take a note, JLA, when your fucking Wolverine game where your claws are always out, or one of those games.
It was actually a better Superman game than Superman 64.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it's admittedly not, you ain't got to do much.
The bar's not high, but that was actually a fun game to play as opposed to the other one.
Everybody else jumps, he just puts his hand on top of Superman's. I beat you.
And he's like, yep, I win. Let's see what else we got here.
Oh, no, I don't see any more.
Oh, no, I think that might be it.
Might Wizardry. I never played any of the Wizards. Okay, I can actually talk a little bit about Xanadu because my cousin had this game. Xanadu, if I remember Xanadu being
This
correct.
is my disgust face.
What, you seen Xanadu, the game? You know about Xanadu?
I mean, wow.
What?
Wow.
What?
I would sooner believe you played William Wobbler. Okay.
William Wobbler. I didn't play,
click that shit. I want to know what it is.
a Willy Wobbler?
Not Willie the Worm. William Wobbler.
Willy the Worm Wobbler.
Willie the Worm Toucher.
I never played Wizard either, but my cousin had Xanadu, and it was a side-scrolling action game, if I remember right. You had a sword and blah, blah, blah. William Wobbler looks like a kid's game, my friend. By R. Crowther.
Oh, God, it was for the Commodore 64.
Yep, old Commie 64. Never had one, so... Yeah, all I remember is Xanadu is my cousin had it.
That's probably why I would never played it.
I watched him play it. And guess what, Adam?
What's that?
You're getting fucked today, buddy, because we're not just doing 1985, bitch. We're doing 86, too. Oh, what? You didn't know that was going to come, didn't you?
No.
You didn't know that was happening, huh?
No.
You are not prepared.
No, I'm not
You didn't come
prepared.
prepared at all today anyway. You just walked in the door, and I was like, Adam, have you read the list? And you were like,
I have played
don't-
Way of the Exploding Fist.
You've played Way of the Exploding Fist.
No, I'm totally lying.
Why are you lying? Moving on then to 1986. Already looking at the list and seeing a couple, I guess. Not a whole lot of them. I've heard of Alex Kidd. Never played it.
Meh.
Arkanoid. I know everybody knows Arkanoid. I always liked Arkanoid. I did play this in the arcades. You remember Arkanoid?
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that had the bar and the ball, and it would bounce.
Yeah.
And hit different blocks and break them. And I love the arcade version. I love the game because it had power-ups. You could make your bar longer. You could shoot 2 balls instead of 1.
Yeah.
You could slow down how fast they moved. It was all about points, too. Pretty, for what it was.
Well, it's not a bad game.
Not a bad game
You
at
know
all.
what game was better, though? Annals of Rome.
You played Annals of Rome?
Annals of Rome. No. No,
No.
I'm not.
You're just making that up now.
Annals of Rome.
Batman, the 1986 video Nintendo.
Yeah, that was a great fucking game.
I wish I had played this back in
You
the day.
can use a bat gun.
Yes. Tell us about this game.
Batman had a gun in this game. That's all you need to know. He could throw batarangs at people. He could shoot them with a motherfucking gun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Batman was taking no shits. It was based on the movie, the Batman movie, the Tim Burton one. It was very dark.
Yeah.
It was a dark game. The music set like a really deep tone. He could do all kinds of cool little ninja tricks. He could like wall jump and shit like that. It was a great game.
Side-scrolling action/platformer. Very dark. Very fun from what I've seen. I've never played it to this day, but I wish I had.
Oh man, you missed out. You missed out on something big because that was a great game. It'd be good to play right now.
Yeah.
You could pop that game in and you'd be like, man, this is wow. For 1986, this is fucking amazing.
I remember seeing my cousin play Bard's Tale 2, the Destiny Knight, but I never played it. I mean, it's an RPG-ish kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe this is the kind where you didn't just have the top-down RPGs like Dragon Warrior or Final Fantasy. This is the one where it was kind of like a first person, and you would, go down a corridor, you take 2 steps, you're at another corridor, take a right or left, and you would take a right, you would actually walk around the corner, there's a monster there. Like,
That's pretty cool.
those are pretty cool. Let's see here, Black Bass. I played Bason's Black Bass. Castlevania, the 1986 video game. Hell yes.
Man, never played it.
Really?
No.
Man, you gotta quit that. People are gonna believe you. This is one of the original Nintendo games that I did own, and oh man, I love the cover art. I was happy to start playing the game. By God, that game will kick you in the nuts.
Yup.
That's what this system was known for. Games that just start getting cheap as shit.
Just get fucking mean.
You hate bats and Ninja Gaiden? Well, I fucking hated Medusas and Castlevania. Cause God, you fucking time a jump just right, and here comes this fucking bullshit head out of nowhere.
You didn't know you needed to be whipping at the exact same time, too.
Yep. No, that sound effect really well. I think I made that. I did. This is another one of those games that I didn't beat till I was like in my late teens or 20s probably. Mm-hmm. And I remember getting to I guess the 5th or 6th level and just shit kicked in every single time.
My favorite of the Castlevania series was the 3rd one, where you could like beat the bosses and then like enslave them or whatever. And you could become like the monkey dude that crawled on the walls, or you could become the priest guy or Alucard. That was really cool.
We'll get to that one when we talk.
One of these days we're gonna get to see that one.
Be 88 or 89 probably. But yeah, it's Castlevania 1 shows Castlevania 1 and 3, and I guess 2 a little bit. They show what it's supposed to be for Castlevania. You got a face.
I think that game right there, Defender of the Crown, is that one we were talking about earlier.
Defender of the Crown.
Check that out.
That might be it. That name sounds familiar. I don't think I've ever played it.
I think that's the one I was thinking of.
Hey, it might be.
I'm thinking it is.
You know, people can't see it though. It's a raid.
You just go around and beat the fuck out of people.
I guess. Factions. You can play as the Saxons. I don't know. I guess
it was a pretty cool game.
We'll figure it out one day.
Double dribble.
Double dribble.
Yeah.
You remember lots of things about this game. You remember it having the was it the national anthem played at the beginning of the game?
Yeah, and then you like dunk.
Yeah.
You do like the what was it called? It would show like the little fucking like cutscenes.
Yeah, it would show a little cinematic, a little cutscene. It was like 3 or 4 stills, but if you made a dunk, sometimes it would cut to it, and it would show you like on the ground. It would show you jumping up. It would show you a little bit higher with your hands in the air with the ball, and it would show you dunking. That was pretty cool. A little bit of voice acting. Double dribble was the title screen. I mean, it's a basketball game, but it was pretty fun. A lot of people remember Double Dribble. Good game. Good game. Dragon Quest. Now, here's the thing.
You gonna tell me you didn't play Dragon Quest?
No. I always called it Dragon Warrior. Are they two different things?
They are.
They are. So, I don't believe I ever played Dragon Quest. I'm pretty sure that I played the Dragon Warriors.
Yeah, click on it. I'm pretty sure that Dragon Quest, the very first one, if this is the same one, it was called Dragon Warrior. Yep. It was called Dragon Warrior in the United States.
Yes. Okay, so that's what it is. By Chunsoft. Yep, I remember playing...
But thou must. It literally created a trope.
Yep.
He's like, no, I don't want to do this shit. But thou must.
Yeah. While Final Fantasy 1 was the first RPG for me to ever play, technically that's not true. This was, I think I told us in the Memories episode as well, was I was at one of my either aunt's friend's house or something, and they just brought me to this room, and there was a Nintendo, and they just put in Dragon Warrior. Of all the games in their library they put in Dragon Warrior. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, what I was playing, and then I made it to Final Fantasy and fell in love with RPGs. I came back to this later. It's a good game.
It is a damn good game.
Damn good game. I mean, there's some cool aspects about it when you go to it.
There's some dated aspects to it, but you know what? For a fucking Trailblazer, this thing was awesome.
Yep. Standard RPG fare here. You got an overworld. You get into random battles. You swap screens. You got to manage attacks, spells, items, etc.
The best part about this game was the language.
Yeah.
And thou art dead.
Yeah, it talked in that yay old English.
It was like
very cool.
It was like get fucked.
It was fantasy tried and true.
You could that was spoilers.
Oh no, don't do it, Adam.
Spoilers, you could choose to join the final villain at the end of the game.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You'd be like, "Come, be my friend," and you're like, "Okay." Rip.
Did you do it, Adam?
I did.
I knew you were the type of guy that would do that. You're given the choice. It's like, you finally meet me here, and I've killed your family and half the world. But if you join me, this power could be yours. And you'd be like, I'll do it.
Yes.
Also, you remember the dungeons in Dragon Warrior where you would go down the stairs and it would be like
dark.
Like a block around you.
You would
was
have
lit
to
up.
cast a light spell.
Yep, and it would make it a little lighter, but the spell only lasted a little while. So when it went out, you had to cast it again. And if you use the spell, the magic for your light, you don't have any for your attack spells. And when both of them run out, now you can't attack people with magic, and you can't see what you're doing.
I would always go to where there was like a town that was destroyed and had poison all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Because they kept the family armor there. It was the best armor in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You had to fight like a knight to get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He would kick your ass.
Oh, yeah, he'd fucking totally break his dick off right up in you if you went in there too early.
It also taught you ideas. Again, this is if you played this game when it came out, it's a couple years before Final Fantasy comes out, but it teaches you an RPG element of you can go out a little ways, but don't go too far because the enemies will start changing a little further out. Then you start getting some badass enemies that kick your shit in. That just
the slimes change color and then it's your ass.
Yep. So you got to go back to a few areas and grind for a little bit. There was grinding in it, yeah, but it taught you the reason why you had to.
Yeah, it was. And the cool thing is that was back when you get new spells every couple levels.
Yes.
You get like hurt.
So you always, man, like I'm getting every other level. You were like, man, what am I gonna get? What's the new spell I'm gonna get? And forgive me if I'm going too fast. If
That's
you see
fine.
anything up in here. This is another reason why I did 2 years, because man, you don't like Kid Icarus. I played Kid Icarus one time in my life. One time. I know what it was, but I
remember being pissed off that you couldn't fly. You had fucking wings, but you couldn't fly.
Yep.
Flight was like one of those things that they just never gave you back in that era.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, no, we're kind of afraid to make you fly.
Yep. The King's Quest games I never played, not even on the PC or any console, but I tell you now, for a good, hearty, got some really good fun and funny items, the new remake that's been made, they've already got one chapter down or one season down or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Very good game. I haven't played it. I watched, I forget who, maybe even Game Grumps play it, but the game is fucking hilarious all over the place. Let's see oh boy. I think we just gotta skip past the L's because, I guess we could talk about Legend of Zelda.
What?
That was released.
When have we played that ever?
That was released in 1986.
One of the defining games of an era, yeah.
Yep. Hard as shit the later on you go.
Yep.
Kinda, sorta also known.
But that game was, it was so different from anything you'd ever played.
Yep.
You were always discovering things and, the sound effects, the graphics, the concepts behind the game, they were all just brand new to you.
Yep.
And the sense of wonder you'd get when you were just rolling around fucking shit. Oh, man.
At the speed of sound.
Rolling in the speed of sound.
Got places to go. Gotta follow my rainbow. You don't even know what that's from, do you?
I don't.
You never played Sonic Adventure?
I have.
Sonic Adventure 2?
Never played Sonic Adventure 2.
How dare you?
You can hold me all day, but
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
I tell you what, I did not own a Dreamcast.
You had a dream last night?
I did not own a Dreamcast.
What?
No, sir. I was too good for that piece of shit.
What? Hey, come on now.
I have borrowed a friend's Dreamcast and played some of the Sonic Adventure games. I have never played the one you're talking about, apparently.
Yeah.
But the best game for that fucking system was Shenmue.
House of the Dead 2. Oh.
Shenmue, without a doubt.
The Dreamcast had a few good games. There was Soul Reaver. There was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I never played Shenmue. Not one of them.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So when Grand Theft Auto came out, a lot of people were like, yeah, some of this stuff kind of borrows from Shenmue. And I'm like, oh, I never played that. So,
some of it does.
We're not going to spend too much time on Legend of Zelda. Not because we don't want to talk about it, because we've already talked about it. We had an entire Legend of Zelda episode, so check our previous podcast out for that one. Check our previous episode for that. Light Force. I don't know if you ever played Light Force.
No, I never played it.
All right, let me ask this: of all the genres that you like in gaming, are you a shmup fan?
A smut fan? I love some good smut. I'm a smut connoisseur.
This silly fucker doesn't know what a shmup is.
Nope.
A shmup is
A
slang
shmup?
term for shoot 'em up.
Oh.
So side-scrolling plane shooters or vertical shooters.
Yeah, I mean, I can play. I have played them before. Yes,
I'm not heavy into them, but there's some jewels out there that I really love to play. Like Gradius 5 is a good one. Any of the riding games I love.
Any of the Galaga games, you know.
Yeah,
Just
Galaga
like
can be a shmup, sure.
Yeah. Okay, I was I'm back in the Atari days, man. I knew how to like let one of my ships get captured, and then I'd shoot the ship.
As
They
it was
captured
taking
it,
you up,
and it would come down, and I could like attach it to my other ship, and I'd have like two
duels.
I'd have a dual fucking thing.
Yep. But that's what Light Force was. If you've ever played any of those like Gradius type games, same type of gameplay idea. I think Light Force was a vertical shooter though. Just a game I just had. I think this was one of my first games, the first like 7-8 games I ever had. So it was there. I played it, had a good time with it, I guess. Let's see, where can we go next? Metroid, the very first Metroid came out in 1986. Just like you said about Legend of Zelda, whole new gaming experience right here when you got Metroid.
Never before had you had a protagonist that bled all over the game.
I was wondering where you were going. I can't believe that actually took me more than 3 seconds to realize where you were going. So
no, this game was amazing.
Yes,
amazing,
large. And first game, just like Zelda. I'm so glad these came out in the same year because these are two games that put you down in the game and just said, "Go." Well, where do I go? I don't fucking know.
Do what you do.
Go figure it out. Well, should I kill? Yeah, I killed it. Well, but where do I need to go? What's the objective? Go figure it out.
Yep.
No map, no nothing. Have at it.
That game stole my childhood. Between that, Zelda, and I mean, there were so many games that took so long to beat, but these are the ones that mastering a game like Ninja Gaiden is fucking just as like rewarding as these games were when you figured out a trick.
Yes.
Yes. When you developed your hand-eye coordination beating a game like, any kind of platform or any of those really hardcore Castlevania types, you know what I mean? But once you got into Metroid or Zelda or any of these games, they developed the way you thought about puzzles.
They were predominantly known for giving you aha moments.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that have never played the original Metroid, maybe you've only played the like Metroid Prime or whatnot. It's a side-scrolling shooter type action game, platforming as well. But this game is known for, this is the first adaptation that I can think of, to where you're in an area, you gotta go left or right. You go left, you may find an item. You go right, you got another
fucking
path.
Die.
Now you can go up or down. You go up, you find a door, you can't figure out how to get to the door, through the door. You go down, you find another path, left or right. You go right, you fight an enemy. You go left, you find a thing. It's a weapon. You're like, this is a new ammo type. You go all the way back up to that door, you shoot that new weapon type, opens up the door. And that just is all over the place. How can I get to the other side of where I need to go? Well, somewhere back in this level is an item you need to do this. There's an item way up on this cliff, but I just can't jump high enough. There's an item somewhere that'll let you do a double jump or to let you jump higher. So it's always known for this stuff.
Yup.
Right here is where it started.
You're just discovering new things, and that discovery feeling, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you'd never seen it before.
Yep. So let's see if I can see any more. I thought that said Little Mermaid, which I never played the Little Mermaid game, but that's not what that game was. So I don't even know what. Murder on the Mississippi. What the shit? There was a game in 86 called Murder on the Mississippi. We're only bringing this up because, well, we know about Mississippi. It's got some portly guy with a bowler cap and some guy with a pretty fantastic beard and a monocle. It's an Activision game. Angelic. I have no idea what this game is.
It was probably like a shoot 'em up where you had like a riverboat, like one of those big steamboats. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You're just like shooting ninjas and shit.
Othello. Did you ever play Othello? Came out in 86.
I saw the cover, but I was never. I kept seeing it like my local game store.
Yeah.
Like a little movie rental place.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it like 200 times and I never felt the urge to rent it.
It's a puzzly, Tetris-y kind of game.
Yeah.
You got these dots, you got to put a new dot down and make the colors match, and you got to line them all up. And that was another one that my neighbor had, and I played it because they played it. You know, again, when you roll around all these games that the one neighbor had, and they, you know, amongst them all was Zelda 2, I predominantly played Zelda 2. It wasn't really my fault that I was stuck with that game. So we got pro wrestling. I don't know which Nintendo wrestling game that is. I guess I could look at the cover and tell me, because I played a couple of the Nintendo wrestling games, but it was also at friend. Yeah, I don't think I played this one. This is the actual Nintendo pro wrestling game. I never played this one. Man, off topic. Were you ever into wrestling when you were younger?
Yeah.
Like wrestling?
A little bit. A little like wrestling.
What was your favorite, like, were you WWE? WWF or WCW?
WWF guy.
Yeah, I was the Stone Cold era guy myself. That was...
Stone Cold? Yeah, I was a little bit before your time, I guess.
I mean, of course, I like the Macho Man era and the Hulkamania and the Ultimate
I was
Warrior.
more of a Bret Hart kind of guy.
Oh, yeah, I was a Shawn Michaels guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they say I'm cute, but you know I'm sexy. I got the moves that drive the girls wild. So don't be mad because I'm the Heartbreak Kid, buddy. You can have your awesomely cool sunglasses.
Awesomely cool sunglasses and being the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
There was something perfection, the execution of excellence. Ain't that what his thing was?
Excellence of execution.
Excellence of execution. Yeah, God, man. RBI baseball. Did you ever play that one?
That was the Fat Bat version.
That was I found somebody else who called it the Fat Bat game. Yes. I mean, what can you say, bro? Really, it's a baseball game. I mean, it was
the cool thing was it had the cities.
Yeah. By Tenjin. Good game. There's another Rambo game. Did you play the rest of them?
No, fuck that.
Oh, man. How about Rampage?
Rampage was awesome.
All right, this is another arcade port. Rampage here came out on 86. Yes.
And you roll up and you get King Kong and you're just like, I'm fucking shit up.
So this game is set up where you have these big, tall buildings or houses and skyscrapers, and you can pick one of three. I think the original three was the ape and the lizard, and what was the third one?
The third one.
For the original.
The one nobody wanted to pick.
Sure. Was it the rat, maybe?
No. A rat? What the fuck?
Wait. There is a Rampage where one of them is a rat.
No.
I don't know which one.
You were high.
No. That was somebody out there in audience land, bail me out on this. One of them was kind of like a mouse or a rat. It was a big monster mouse or rat.
Big monster mouse. Monster rat. It's Chuck E. Cheese.
You just a video. Yes, it looked like the Chuck E. Cheese rat, but without it, she was buck naked.
Butt naked Chuck E. Cheese rat. So, I think this is some kind of drug-fueled thing.
No, it was a game.
You were like, I'm going to sniff a bunch of paint cleaner.
I'm going to find this. I'm going to find this. I'm going to show you a picture. I don't need anybody's help. I'll find it myself. The idea of this game is that you were supposed to rampage through these cities. You had to climb up the sides.
You'd go and like the map would slowly turn colors as you destroyed the entire fucking thing. Mm-hmm. It was so cool.
You took your monsters and you like grabbed the sides of the buildings and scale up and down, and you punch the buildings and you
smash airplanes out of the sky.
Pull out people and eat them. And you basically got to bring all the buildings down.
Don't eat the toilets though.
Yeah, leave them toilets. They make you puke. Good game for what? Again, it's something new. Just some random idea made for a really, really fun game. I've heard about Rygar. I've never played it. I never even played the PlayStation 2 remake, I believe it was.
Damn.
Yeah. So I mean, I knew what it was. He had a big disc and he had
a big disc. And that's why the girls loved him.
This is our podcast right here. Let's see. There's got to be something in the S's. And it's Sweet Coding 3.
What? Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Side Pocket. It's a pool game. I played that game once in a while. Space Hunter. No, that's Space Harrier I'm thinking of. I never played that.
Oh, God.
Space Quest. I think that's, Space Quest was that, kind of like Dragon's Lair game. It was like a adventure.
Really?
I think so. I could be completely wrong there. But... Did you ever play Scoon? Sqoon?
No.
Never played Scoon?
No, I did not.
We're just gonna move on from Scoon. I have
Scoon.
never heard that name in the entire library ever. Ever have I heard that.
Then the actual Super Mario Brothers 2 came out.
Yeah, the Super Mario
What
Brothers
they didn't release in fucking in America
because they thought,
we sucked.
you guys can't
They're
handle
like fucking gaijin.
Everybody complained that the original Mario was too hard. We'll give you
They can't get past that Goomba. They just keep ramming him, trying harder. They don't realize there's another button on the controller.
It was me. I was the reason.
Yeah.
What else we got here? What else? Thrust. There's so many. This is another.
Thrust.
Oh man, I heard I've never seen it. I think AVGN did the Transformers review. Never played it. Thank God, because that game looks like utter garbage. Holy
There's a
crap.
game called Trojan, and I'm not sure whether it's about condoms or it just gives your Nintendo a virus.
Which also would be about condoms, because you're trying to keep somebody from getting a virus from your penis.
It either helps you, it either prevents or gives you viruses.
That's not what Nintendo's about.
Ultima! One of the greatest. Yeah, Ultima is fucking awesome.
Tell me about Ultima, because I know nothing about Ultima. Never played them.
Ultima is, wow.
I'm sorry I haven't.
The cool thing about Ultima was you could just randomly fight anybody.
Okay.
You could just fucking walk up to somebody and be like, nah, we're throwing down right now.
Imagine the audience don't know anything about Ultima.
It's a Dragon Warrior-esque RPG.
Okay.
It's got the traditional 8-bit graphics. And I never really got very far in it because I always picked fights with everybody. And you'd kill a couple people and then the guards would come. And when the guards came, they didn't play no fucking games because they were like level 60.
Damn.
You were like,
oh, okay.
You'd be rolling up like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with the guards. Nah. So my party, I would spend time meticulously making a party. You got to make your own party. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could pick, they had like maybe 4 or 5 different classes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you pick the class and then you could name them whatever you wanted. So you could make your own party and pick all your friends' names and shit. And I would meticulously make these fucking party members and then I'd get them all killed because I'd go around murdering people.
Should take better care of your party members, man.
That's how I do.
Let's see. I don't think there's anything else on the rest of there. I'm always looking for WWE or WWF because I know they started making those games. Just don't know when.
And wrestling games.
They got wrestling games, yeah. And that's it for 1986. That's all the games I can talk about.
Oh man, it's Zoids.
Zoids. The battle begins.
Yeah, you don't remember Zoids?
I do. I don't, but I don't. All right, guys. Well, and gals. Sorry, I guess that's going to do it for today's episode. You know what? We haven't made one 007 reference this whole time. This is episode 007.
What?
Adam, what's your favorite James Bond movie ever?
My favorite James Bond movie ever.
Yes, Giant Bombs movie.
My favorite Giant Bomb movie. I would say Tomorrow Never Dies.
Really?
The one where he gets captured by the North Koreans and just beaten at the very beginning of the movie?
Ain't that the one where the villain had he had diamonds blasted into his face?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty cool way for him to be scarred up.
Yeah, the reason I liked it is because I was in Korea at the time when I watched it.
And you were
when
like,
I was
know
watching
that
it,
guy.
And I was watching it with Koreans as they went over the DMZ and shit like that.
Wow.
And they were like, wow, this is the kind of shit y'all watch. And I was like, yes.
I have to fully admit, I know it's bad, but GoldenEye was the first James Bond that I had ever seen. I had never seen a James Bond before that. There's like,
you
what,
never watched
12?
any of the Roger Moore?
No. I have
Sean
never.
Connery?
I have never.
Sean Connery had some pretty cool...
Like, I know the lines like, no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. And I know characters like Oddjob and Jaws and all that shit, but I never saw those movies. So, my first...
They were good. They were good movies.
I know I'm doing myself a severe injustice, and I'll marathon them one day or something, but...
Oh, no, you won't. Good
bet
God.
I will.
No, you
Bet.
won't. I bet.
Bet.
Go ahead. I'm gonna call you bluff.
All right. I'm gonna bet. I tell you what. If I can't watch them all in one sitting, I will...
Suck my dick.
No.
Oh, well, okay.
No.
I don't want to do the bet then.
No, the first James Bond that I ever saw was GoldenEye 007.
Yeah.
And this is how we watched this. When I went to the 8th grade, isn't this the typical high school story? Our health class teacher was the gym coach.
Yeah.
So our gym coach is like, I mean, we got a book, but I'm not fucking teaching this bullshit. If y'all know how to brush your teeth and wash your hands and wipe your ass, you're being healthy and, eat food, kids. So I'm just gonna
eat food, kids.
eat healthy food.
Eat food.
So I'm just gonna put a fucking movie on every day, and we're just gonna watch movies in here. So the kids, we were like, fuck yeah. He put GoldenEye. He said if y'all had board games you want to bring, we brought in Risk and set this big fucking round table up to play Risk. He let us leave the game in place so we could pick up back up the next day.
Damn.
We watched GoldenEye. We watched Broken Arrow. There was like 2 or 3 more movies, but of course, as you would understand, some fucking prick or some fucking bitch went home and ratted to their parents, yeah, well, when I go to health class, the teacher don't teach us. He just makes us watch movies. So he got in trouble, and we had to come in one day. He's like, all right, y'all got to put the games up, and we're not watching movies no more. I actually got to break the book open and teach y'all. This is how you brush your teeth. This is how you eat your poop. So,
oh, God. If you eat your poop. That explains a lot.
So that was my first showing of any James Bond movie, was 007, GoldenEye. I loved that movie. Compounded with later playing the game. Oh, man. So for me, GoldenEye and Casino Royale fight head and head because GoldenEye has that old nostalgia I can't let go. I love that movie. But fucking Casino Royale was damn good.
Yep.
It was really good. I just wish I had more history behind it. I don't. I've seen everything pretty much beyond from GoldenEye up. Some disappointments in there. I think the second one after Casino Royale wasn't that good. I think the third one wasn't really that good. It was okay.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah, but that's our official 007 podcast talk.
Oh.
Hashtag.
Hashtag.
That's going to do it for this episode of the End of Time cast. Thank you all, as usual, for listening. We appreciate you sticking with us this whole time. We hope the quality is much better for you, especially with the mics being situated and the audio setup being better. I got to tell you, on our end, it's a bit of a challenge to get the recording done now for certain reasons, but we're getting it. We're getting it there for you.
We're getting up in there.
You can find, hopefully you found this link through the SoundCloud page. If not, we have a Facebook page and a Timecast. We have a Twitter and a Timecast. You can tweet at us. We would love for you to send us any questions or messages, comments, suggestions, whatever through the Facebook page.
Whatever you want to send.
Tweet at us, tweet in us if you want. Well,
ooh, yeah. Tweet us.
Tweet us.
Just tweet us a little bit.
Just tweet us just a little bit.
Just tweet it.
You can send emails to us if you want to go that route. You can send it at endoftimecast@gmail.com. That's endoftimecast@gmail.com. Please send us questions. We would love to answer them live on the show. But as the only thing that we really ask of everybody right now is to please share us, get the word out there. If you know anybody out there that's into video games, tell them about us. You know, people that like to listen to podcasts, whenever and whatever they're doing, We hope we're great background music or noise for you.
I know I'm sexy, so I don't know about y'all.
So please put the word out there. Help us get more. It's not because of money. We just want more.
It's totally because of money.
We want more people to be able to listen to us. We're gonna keep rolling these episodes out. We just
we're gonna keep fucking making them, whether you're fucking sending us shit or not. So fuck y'all. If y'all want to fucking like talk to us, fine. We'll just be all fucking talking by ourselves. We don't care. We don't care. We'll just keep doing stuff.
Why do you keep saying we while you're saying that? You're not even making sense. Somebody's got to get him put to bed. All right, that's going to do it. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again. Until next time, I'm Michael.
Adam.
Well, you want to try that again? You want to try that again?
You want to try
all I heard was boobity bop. I'm Michael.
I'm Adam. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Later.